Chapter 300. 9 Supreme Immortal Techniques, Magic Arsenal, Golden Light Traversing, Reversal of Yin and Yang, Dragon Subduing and Tiger, 6 Armor of Wonders, 5 Elements Escape Technique, Size Manipulation Spirit Flight, Moving Mountains and Filling Seas. Xinghui glanced at the Supreme Immortal Arts one by one. In the end, he chose the Supreme Immortal Arts, Magic Arsenal and Reversal of Yin and Yang. As the Supreme Immortal Arts, they were undoubtedly more mysterious than the lesser immortal arts. In fact, among the remaining immortal arts, Xinghui also took a fancy to the Fasting Technique, 5 Ghosts Transferring Technique, and the Supreme Immortal Art Spirit Flight. The Fasting Technique could make people not have to worry about food when they were in seclusion. It should be known that if one suddenly had an inspiration during cultivation and fell into an epiphany, but had to interrupt the epiphany because of hunger, it would be too late for regrets. On the other hand, the 5 Ghosts Transport Technique was extremely profound and could move objects silently without anyone noticing. As for the Spirit Flight, it could condense the spirit into a primordial spirit, which could leave the body and travel freely in the great void. The primordial spirit was formless and intangible. If it could travel thousands of miles and gather information, it would be really easy. Unfortunately, he could only choose 3 immortal arts and treasure refining techniques. He had already taken a fancy to the air-frozen bead, so he could only choose 2 immortal arts. Fortunately, the 6 supreme sects all had their own spies, so the supreme immortal arts, high-level immortal arts, and ordinary immortal arts that they possessed were actually more or less the same. In terms of supreme immortal arts, there would be a difference of 2 or 3 at most, while ordinary immortal arts were passed down in first and second-rate sects, or were similar to immortal arts. Qing Su progressed step by step, and found a way to infiltrate the second and third-rate sections. After a few more attempts, he would eventually be able to find a way to obtain the immortal arts he wanted. With the 2 supreme immortal arts, Reversal of Yin and Yang, and the refining method of the air-frozen bead, Xinghui came to the Sutra Depository. "Have you chosen?" Perfected Zihao said to Xinghui. "Go and register." Yes. As Xinghui spoke, he came before the Scripture Depository elder. "Soldiers from casting beans. This immortal art is easy to get started with, but it's not easy to cultivate it to minor success, major success, or even perfection. Reversing Yin and Yang is also easy to get started with, but difficult to master. As for the air-frozen pearl, it's easy to refine and has high compatibility. Depending on the core material you use to refine it, the effects of the air-frozen pearl will vary. Some air-frozen pearls can only freeze natural gales, but the Soaring Serpent sect of the 6 great sects has refined an air-frozen pearl that can even freeze astral gales in the 9 heavens. With that air-frozen pearl, they can enter the 9 heavens and gather the power of wind and thunder to temper themselves. From time to time, they can even capture the power of stars and meteorites in the 9 heavens. Looking at Xinghui's choice, Sage Zihao nodded slightly. Air-frozen pearls had high compatibility, and different core materials could be used to refine air-frozen pearls with different effects. This was why Xinghui had taken a fancy to this treasure's refining method. There was a boundary stone in Xinghui's Chaos Treasure Pavilion. If he could buy that boundary stone and use it as the core to refine an air-frozen pearl, just thinking about how mysterious the air-frozen pearl would be at that time made him look forward to seeing it. Of course, this was only one of Xinghui's plans. Whether he could refine such an air-frozen pearl in the end would depend on his means. Or rather, it would depend on the effect of the Divine Blessing Technique. "Let's go. I'll take you to the outer storehouse of our palace. It seems that there is a piece of 9 heavens divine stone in the outer storehouse of our Purple Cloud Palace. It's one of the high-grade gems used to refine the air-frozen pearl. Although the air-frozen pearl refined with the 9 heavens divine stone, as the core can't compare with the air-frozen pearl of the Soaring Serpent sect, it's much more effective than the ones circulating on the market. Elder Zihao, please lead the way." "Haha, it's my pleasure." Spiritual Master Zihao laughed heartily and led Xinghui toward the outer storehouse. There was also a Saint Realm expert overseeing the outer storehouse. Fortunately, Xing Hui had been to the Heaven Wasteland domain and had seen many Jindan realm experts. Otherwise, if it were a cultivator coming out of the eastern wilderness for the first time, they would most likely be trembling with fear and trepidation when they saw that they would encounter a true energy boundary expert and be surrounded by prominent divine realm supreme elders. Elder Zaheo took the palace lord's order and quickly finished negotiating with the elder guarding the outer storehouse. In the end, he turned to Xing Hui and said, "You can choose the materials to refine the air-frozen pearl here. You can choose the heaven and earth treasures used for cultivation. And you can also choose the finished product. It's all up to you." "Yes," Xing Hui responded and stepped into the storehouse. Although it was only the outer storehouse of the Purple Cloud Palace, the heaven and earth treasures, refining materials, and many other secret treasures were also extremely extraordinary, but the value was not as precious as the inner storehouse. The divine protection technique was to be left for the air-frozen pearl. Xing Hui did not look at the heaven and earth treasures and refining materials, and went directly to the finished products. There were 300 or 400 finished products, and their performance was also different. Some of the performance of the secret treasures made Xing Hui speechless. For example, the secret treasure in his hand called the 5 light stone could emit 5 kinds of light. Yes, that was it. There were no other effects. This kind of secret treasure was simply an eye-opener for Xing Hui. Apart from being able to fool those girls who had not stepped onto the Tao of cultivation, what else could it be used for? Of course, in addition to this so-called 5 light stone, there were also some strange things that could be used. For example, the illusory spirit flower could transform into many herbal heaven and earth treasures. It could even simulate the spiritual fluctuation of the heaven and earth treasures. It was very effective when used to set up traps to lure people in. There was also the lightless stone, which was a magic treasure at the opposite end of the 5 light stone. It had the effect of absorbing light. If it was used in a dark and sealed environment, it could swallow all the light and make people unable to see their own fingers. In addition, there was also a more effective wind bag, which could accommodate all kinds of wind forces. The strongest one could accommodate the 9 heavens hurricane. If enough 9 heavens hurricane could be collected and released when facing the enemy, even thousands of cultivators in the longevity realm would be completely blown out. It was a great killing weapon used in group battles to destroy sects and clans. In order not to let immortal Zaheo wait for a long time, Xing Hui finally chose a stick. The earth-shaking stick. The effect of this stick was not very useful in battle, but it could release a special kind of shock wave. When the cultivator kept hitting the same place over and over again, the shock wave would overlap, thus causing the qi of the earth vein to become chaotic, and finally, cause an earthquake. The more qi of the earth vein gathered in a place, the more obvious the effect of the earth-shaking stick was. Seeing Xing Hui take out the earth-shaking stick, immortal Zaheo was stunned, but he smiled and said, "Dongyang, you found a good thing. The earth-shaking stick is useless in battle, but it has an incredible effect when used to destroy sects' mountain gates and formations." In the past, a true disciple of the Purple Cloud Palace had a bad relationship with a young master of a first-class sect. The young master of the first-class sect hid in the mountain gate and relied on the power of the formation to make the true disciple helpless. In the end, the young master of the sect paid a huge price to refine such a magical treasure, the earth-shaking stick. It could shake the earth 30,000 times and create a huge earthquake, completely destroying the sect's earth vein, and causing a huge earthquake within 3,000 kilometers of the sect. The earth vein was destroyed, the mountains and rivers collapsed, and the sect's formation was naturally broken. Without the protection of the formation, the young master of the sect had to surrender and beg for mercy in front of the disciple of the Purple Cloud Palace. Xing Hui nodded. He chose the earth-shaking stick because it could destroy the earth vein and cause an earthquake. Currently, the Create Evolve Mysterious sect was wantonly creating the Gate of Fortune. Once the Gate of Fortune was completed, the other saint sects could do nothing to the Create Evolve Mysterious sect, and could only retreat from that territory. It was through this method that the Create Evolve Mysterious sect was able to occupy a small portion of the eastern wilderness. According to Ling Yu's report, the Create Evolve Mysterious sect's overseas forces had already begun to move. They were spreading towards the Eastern Sea and had the intention of invading the Life Moon Alliance. He had to make some preparations in advance. With this earth-shaking stick, if the Create-Evolve mysterious sect dared to create more Gate of Fortune on some islands, he would dare to cause an earthquake at the bottom of the sea and use the power of a tsunami to completely destroy it. If they angered him, he could just sell the earth-shaking stick to the Limitless Sword sect. He believed that after the Limitless Sword sect knew the effects of the earth-shaking stick, they would definitely not mind taking out a sky-high price to buy this treasure from him. Elder. While Tsing Hui was registering the item with the external elder, a middle-aged man with a prominent divine stage cultivation base had already appeared beside Sage Zihao and respectfully bowed. Wang Ke, you're here, Sage Zihao said to the middle-aged man before turning to Tsing Hui and saying, Dongyang, I have already explained your matter to Wang Quebec. He will take you to the Sea family next. After the Sea family matters are settled, he will also take you to the Burning Sky sect. If you have any additional needs, just let him do it. Although he is not an elder of our Purple Cloud Palace, he has the status of a senior deacon and can make decisions for most matters. If you really have any difficulties, just go to the Supreme Ocean Hall to find me or go to the Grand Cloud Hall to ask for an audience with the Palace Master. Yes. Tsing Hui acknowledged. The Purple Cloud Palace in the Central Plains was only a branch of the Purple Cloud Palace. The status of the elders here was almost on par with the Grand Elders of the Hunyuan Heaven sect. Although Tsing Hui was valued by the Palace Master and several elders, it was impossible for the Palace Master to allow an elder to follow and serve him. Thank you for your trouble, elder. Haha, it's fine. I'll wait for you to condense a divine-grade battle body. Let me see how extraordinary a divine-grade battle body is. Sage Zihao said with a smile. I won't disappoint elder in a year. Good, I'll wait for your performance in a year. Alright, I'll take my leave first. You can instruct Wang Ke in the future. Farewell, elder. Sage Zihao waved his hand and left on his sword. Guest elder Dongyang, are you going to the Sea family now or? I'll have to trouble Deacon Wang Ke to lead the way. I want to go to the Sea family now. Tsing Hui said. Alright, please come with me. As Wang Ke said that, he gestured with his hand, and in the next moment, he had already risen into the air. He flew towards the cave at the back of the mountain, through the Green Ruins teleportation technique. He stopped in a courtyard less than 3 kilometers away from the cave. The courtyard consisted of 6 courtyards. The largest one had 6 entrances and 6 exits like a palace. There were many cultivators living here, no less than a few hundred people. Wang Ke landed in the main courtyard with Tsing Hui. Before he could step in and greet the master, a sloppy-looking old man of the blue netherworld realm quickly ran over from the side and hurriedly said, Your guest elder Dongyang, right? Where are the runes you found? Quick, write them all out and let me see. Don't miss a single one. Chapter 301. The old man looked to be extremely old and had a decaying aura on his body. Obviously, he was nearing the end of his life and was probably 300 to 400 years old. However, his spirit seemed to be rather vigorous, and his gaze towards Tsing Hui was bright and filled with yearning. This is Deacon Sikong Ming? Wang Ke looked at the old man and seemed to be slightly uncertain. Second uncle, this is a distinguished guest that the palace master personally ordered to be received properly. You must not come out and cause trouble. Chiuwen, quickly bring your second grandfather down. At this moment, a few people walked out from the main courtyard, and a middle-aged man with a cultivation at the prominent saint stage shouted in a deep voice. Yes. Immediately, a man that was around 30 years old, that was 80% similar to him walked out, and swiftly arrived by Sikong Ming's side, before pulling him towards the back of the courtyard. Why are you pulling me away? Wasn't this distinguished guest personally ordered by the palace master to look for our Sea clan to decipher those mysterious runes? In our entire Sea clan, when it comes to mysterious runes, who is more proficient than me? Who is more knowledgeable than me? Sikong Ming shouted with slight dissatisfaction, but he wasn't willing to leave. Si Chioin, what are you standing there for? Quickly bring your grandfather away with your cousin. The middle-aged man at the prominent saint stage shouted angrily at a young woman that was in a hurry at the entrance of the courtyard. Yes, 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 I will bring grandfather away right now. The young woman Si Chuan hurriedly arrived by Si Kongming's side and said in a low voice, Grandfather, let's return first. You are truly unsuitable to receive guests in your current state. This is a guest that the palace master personally ordered. If we are too disrespectful and give the palace master a bad impression, our Sea clan's resource allocation will probably be even lower. Quickly return with me. Wait a moment. At this moment, Qing Su seemed to have seen through something, and he suddenly said, I've come to the Sea family for the sake of understanding the meaning of those mysterious talismans. Since Mr. Si Kongming is the person with the greatest attainments in the talismans in the Sea family, then let me follow Mr. Si Kongming to seek guidance. The middle-aged man in the Vision Divine stage hesitated. The analysis of the mysterious rune has been going on for thousands of years without any results, so there's no need to rush. Our Sea family has already prepared a banquet for guest Elder Dong Yang. Do you think we should go and take a seat first? The palace master has an important task for me. When I first came to the Sea family, the palace master urged me to focus on the important matters. If I delay my time because of the banquet, I'm afraid the palace master will criticize me. Therefore, we should hurry up and understand the meaning of those mysterious runes, and complete the important task the palace master has assigned us. Yes, yes, yes. The palace lord's orders are important. Since guest Elder Dongyang is in a hurry, you should go ahead. There will be plenty of opportunities in the future. The middle-aged man in the Vision Divine stage quickly said, and seemed to be a little submissive. This is the Sea clan's patriarch Si Xiaoli. The Sea clan was a famous clan in the past, and there were even people who condensed the immortal golden core in the clan. It's a pity that our ancestors were obsessed with comprehending the mysterious runes in the land of origin. Much of their energy and resources were squandered, and generation after generation, the Sea clan declined. Today there is only Patriarch Si Xiaoli in the Vision Divine stage. Although Si Xiaoli has the heart to break the curse of analyzing the mysterious runes, it's a pity that the Sea clan has to do their best to analyze the meaning of those mysterious runes. In this situation, Si Xiaoli has the heart to improve the Sea clan, but facing the rules of the ancestors, he doesn't have the support of many people. Wang Ke said softly with a trace of regret in his voice. Those mysterious runes look extremely mysterious and seem to contain infinite mysteries. But thousands of years of research have proven that they are useless. It's a waste of effort to study them, and it's harmful. At present, our Purple Cloud Palace has already given up on studying them. Guest Elder Dongyang must not indulge in it. Don't worry, Deacon Wang Quebec. I'm just curious. Now that I understand the strangeness of these mysterious runes, I naturally won't spend too much effort. Xing Hui said with a smile. That's good, that's good. Wang Ke nodded repeatedly. Xing Hui came before Si Kongming. Deacon Si Kongming, there's no brush, ink, paper, or inkstone here. I'm afraid it won't be easy for me to draw the complete runes. How about we go to the place where you studied the mysterious runes? Good, good, good. Come with me. Si Kongming's face suddenly revealed a look of ecstasy. He quickly pulled Xing Hui and went to the courtyard where he lived. Seeing Si Kongming being so reckless, Si Xiaoli's face darkened. Second uncle, you must not neglect guest Elder Dongyang. Palace Master Dongyang personally came here and told him to treat him seriously. So Si Xiaoli had to be careful. Si Chuan, follow them immediately. If guest Elder Dongyang has any requests, tell me immediately. Yes. Si Chuan responded and quickly followed Si Kongming with Wang Quebec. As soon as Si Kongming stepped into his courtyard with Qing Su, a few old men with white beards immediately walked out from within. They said urgently, "Have you brought him over? Where are the runes? Where are the complete versions of the runes? I've already found some clues." The runes he brought actually correspond to the runes we've been studying over the years. There's a mysterious connection between the two. Quick, quick, quick. I feel that the long-cherished wish of our Sea family for thousands of years will finally be realized today. Si Kongming's eyes lit up when he heard the words of these white-bearded old men. Really? The runes he brought really correspond to the runes we've been studying? It can't be fake. Where are the other runes? We want the complete version of the runes. The white-bearded old men said as their gazes fell on Tsing Hui and Wang Quebec. Their gazes were like hungry wolves that suddenly saw delicious meat after being starved for 3 days. Wang Ke stepped forward and was about to say something when Tsing Hui waved his hand, indicating that it was fine. Wang Ke then said, "I'll draw the runes for you now. However, I don't remember many of them. I'll try my best to restore them." "You're the one who brought those mysterious runes? Then what are you waiting for? Come in and give us the runes." Tsing Hui nodded and followed the old man into the hall. This hall was a little messy. There were all kinds of papers everywhere. The walls and drawing boards were also filled with all kinds of runes. There were also many stones that contained runes. Looking at this room, Tsing Hui seemed to be able to imagine the effort and painstaking effort the Sea clan had put into deciphering the meaning of these mysterious runes over the past few thousand years. Influenced by the environment here, Tsing Hui didn't waste any time and quickly started writing on a blank drawing paper. He drew every rune that he remembered on the paper. However, although he was a member of the Eastern Sunsword sect, he didn't go to places like the Ancestral Hall often. He really couldn't remember many of the tens of thousands of runes in the cave. After spending 2 hours, he only drew 1,200 runes. After another 2 hours, he added 120 runes. He really couldn't remember anything else. Is there more? Is there more? There shouldn't be more. These 2 runes should correspond to each other. There should be as many runes as there are on our side. We have a total of 10,800 runes. How can there only be 1,320 runes here? Where did you find these runes? Tell us the address, and we'll find them ourselves. Yes. Where did you find them? A few Sea clan elders surrounded Tsing Hui and asked him all kinds of questions. Their voices were filled with urgency and desire. I only saw them in an ancient book. That book was destroyed when I was fighting with an expert. Tsing Hui said. Destroyed? Why was it destroyed? Heavens! Is the heavens trying to destroy the future of our Sea clan? Damn it. The person who destroyed this ancient book deserves 1,000 deaths. The Sea clan elders cursed angrily. This scene made Wang Ke's face darken. Did these Sea clan elders really go crazy because of these mysterious runes? 1320 runes. Then 1320 runes it is. Hurry. Analyze these 1320 runes immediately. Yes. Maybe we can deduce other runes based on these runes and understand their true meaning. Get moving, old fellows. Get moving. The few elders shouted and didn't bother to call Si Qiuyin, Wang Ke, Tsing Hui, and the others. They quickly went to do their own things. Deacon Si Kongming. Qing Su saw how these people seemed like they would not sleep for over a dozen days as soon as they started working. He called out to Si Kongming in a hurry and asked, after so many years of research, has the Si family managed to understand what these glyphs are? These runes. Si Kongming was stopped by Tsing Hui and suppressed some of his impatient thoughts of studying these runes. He said in a deep voice, according to our research, these runes are actually a super formation. This super formation has a 20% chance of being an entrance to a certain place. After activating it, one can enter a mystic realm. There's a 20% chance of being an apocalyptic formation, used to shatter the void and turn millions of miles into chaos. There's also a 20% chance of being a teleportation formation that teleports people to an unknown place. As for the remaining 40%, it's a mysterious domain that hasn't been uncovered yet. We haven't figured it out yet. Apocalyptic formation, entrance to a mystic realm, and teleportation formation. Hearing Si Kongming's words, Tsing Hui held his breath. It can't be wrong. Teleportation formation. It's definitely a teleportation formation. It's because these mysterious runes formed a teleportation formation that allowed him to travel millions of light years and appear in the eastern wilderness from the faraway earth. Dong Qian once said that he had triggered the restriction of the divine temple, causing heaven and earth to flip and the universe to reverse. From there, he fell to earth. He must have been teleported by the same teleportation formation. After that, Dong Qian spent 100 years painstakingly setting up a new divine array. He wanted to borrow the power of this teleportation formation to reverse the void and return to the divine wilderness. However, he didn't expect that his lifespan would run out, and he would die regretfully. In the end, it was Xinghui who used some unknown method to reactivate the teleportation formation. That was why he landed in the eastern wilderness. As for why he only teleported his consciousness and not his physical body, it was probably because his body was too weak and was crushed by the power of the teleportation formation. After figuring this out, Xinghui's eyes lit up. Dong Qian had set up a new divine array to bring him to the eastern wilderness. Didn't that mean that if he could figure out the meaning of these runes, he could also set up a teleportation formation to return to Earth? Chapter 302. Xinghui took a deep breath and forced himself to calm down. That must be it. That must be it. He had found a way to return to Earth. Next was to analyze the runes of the divine teleportation array. Xinghui thought to himself as he stared at the people of the Sea family with sparkling eyes. He pinned all his hopes on them. He had never felt so close to his goal of returning to Earth. Hurry up and study them. Figure out the meaning of these 1320 runes as soon as possible. Xinghui suppressed the excitement in his heart and said in a low voice, "How can it be so fast? Even if these 1320 runes can be compared with the runes we have before, it will take more than 10 years, or even decades, to understand the general meaning of these 1320 runes. We must strive for perfection and not make any mistakes. Otherwise, if there is a problem with one rune, it may lead to a complete error." Si Kongming said solemnly. Xinghui nodded in agreement. This was a divine teleportation array that could teleport a person from Heaven Wasteland domain to Earth, which was tens of millions of light years away. Naturally, there could not be any carelessness. If there was a little problem that led to the failure of the teleportation, or the deviation of the teleportation, it could lead to him being stranded in another strange star domain. At that time, he may not be so lucky. However, more than 10 years? Decades? Can it be faster? Faster? Then we can only increase the number of people. The more people there are, the faster the efficiency. However, no matter how many people there are, they will not be of much help to these mysterious runes. We will have to teach them again, and this will waste several years. Unless you can find people from the other supreme sects who specialize in these mysterious runes, then we can work together to shorten the time. People from the other supreme sects who specialize in these mysterious runes. Xinghui's eyes lit up slightly. This method is feasible. No. Wang Ke, who was standing behind Xinghui, shook his head. Even though it has been several decades since a war broke out between our 6 great sects, the small conflicts and conflicts of interest between us have never stopped. These mysterious runes are related to the fortune jade, and this is also the reason why the 6 great sects are studying these mysterious runes. Who knows what kind of benefits they will obtain once they thoroughly study them. Therefore, the other great sects will definitely not allow the people who study these runes to be handed over to our Purple Cloud Palace. Can't we work together? Let's research it together and share the benefits? Xinghui frowned. It won't work. The 6 supreme sects each have their own thoughts. How can they cooperate wholeheartedly? Who could guarantee that no one had hidden their own research data and used this method to monopolize the research results first? A piece of fortune divine jade had once caused the 6 great supreme sects to erupt into an unparalleled war, causing the central territory to shatter, the mountains and rivers to shift, and the living beings to be plunged into misery and suffering. So, what sort of madness and scheming would the benefits hidden behind the fortune divine jade cause? Wang Ke's expression turned solemn as he went on. At present, the 6 supreme sects have managed to form a balance with great difficulty, maintaining peace for several decades, but once the true meaning of the mysterious runes is discovered, this balance will be broken. At that time, the fortune mainland will descend into chaos once again. Therefore, either one of the 6 supreme sects succeeds in their research and secretly monopolizes the profits behind the mysterious runes, or no one will be able to discover the meaning of the mysterious runes. There is no possibility of the six supreme sects cooperating to share the profits. Is there no possibility? Sing Hui's brows were deeply furrowed. Did he really have to wait for several decades on the Fortune mainland? Impossible. Wang Ke shook his head. A moment later, as if he thought of something, he smiled wryly and said, unless there is an overlord who can unify the Fortune mainland and become the supreme ruler of the Fortune mainland, ending the conflict between the six great sections, only then will there be a glimmer of hope. The speaker had no intention, but the listener had a heart. Wang Ke's words indeed gave Tsinghui an idea. However, the Fortune mainland was not a place for weaklings. Each of the six supreme holy sects had a number of never-ending realm experts. If they wanted to unify the Fortune mainland, even a fourth heaven saint realm expert who had cultivated the immortal golden core would have no hope of doing so, unless he could derive a divine ability and step into the realm of a supreme existence. Supreme existence, huh? Tsinghui muttered under his breath. All right, we will immediately analyze the 1,320 mysterious runes you sent over. Oh right, haven't you been studying the mysterious runes for more than a decade? Do you want to join us and study the mysterious runes with us? Xikong Ming asked. Before Qing Su could reply, Wang Ke's face had already changed. He said in a hurry, honored guest of the Eastern Sun has important matters to attend to, so he doesn't have the time or energy to spend on studying the mysterious inscriptions. It's best to leave the research to you professionals. You can just contact the honored guest of the Eastern Sun when you come to a conclusion. When Tsinghui heard this, he nodded slightly. What he needed to do now was to break through to the prominent divine stage, as soon as possible, and take the Fortune Jade as his own. His family had been studying the mysterious runes for thousands of years, but they had not come up with any results. Even if he joined them, it would be meaningless. Not to mention, his claim of having studied the mysterious runes for more than a decade was baseless. He himself had no experience in studying the mysterious runes. If that's the case, then when you think of new runes, remember to tell us immediately. Who knows, the runes you remember might be able to inspire us to study the meaning of the runes and unveil the true meaning of the mysterious runes. I understand. If I remember anything, I will tell you immediately, Tsinghui said solemnly. After that, he bowed to Xikong Ming. Then I will have to trouble Deacon Xikong Ming to take care of the matters here. You flatter me. This is the responsibility of the Xi family. Based on Xi Xiaoli's attitude, Xikong Ming understood that the young man in front of him must have an extraordinary position in the Purple Cloud Palace. He was very polite. Qiu Yin, please send guest Elder Dongyang off for me. No need to be so polite. I won't disturb Deacon Xikong Ming's research, Tsinghui said and followed Wang Ke and Xikong Ming out of the courtyard. He did not say goodbye to Xi Xiaoli and directly soared into the sky, heading towards the great cloud palace where the palace master was. You're back from the Xi family? Yes. This is your identity token. Since you have to borrow the identity of a supreme elder of the Burning Sky sect to participate in the Fortune Grand Banquet, it's not convenient for us to register your identity at the moment. Fortunately, the Fortune Grand Banquet is only a year away. After you participate in the Fortune Grand Banquet, you can directly enter our Purple Cloud Palace. I have already sent a message to the Burning Sky sect. From today onwards, you will be one of the supreme elders of the Burning Sky sect. Do you want the Burning Sky sect's sect master to come and pick you up, or do you want Wang Ke to bring you to the Burning Sky sect? Let Deacon Wang Ke bring me directly to the Burning Sky sect. It's just a small matter, so there's no need to disturb the Burning Sky sect's sect master. Xiang Hong nodded and did not argue with Tsinghui on this detail. Very well, you can go now. Wang Ke knows the way to the Burning Sky sect. Thank you, Palace Master. I'll take my leave first. Tsinghui bowed and left the Palace Master Xiang Hong's palace. He vaguely understood why Xiang Hong was not in a hurry to register his identity. On the one hand, he had come abruptly, so the Palace Master still needed to investigate his background a little. On the other hand, he wanted to see if he could condense a divine-grade battle body. They obviously wouldn't let go of a son of chaos so easily. However, a son of chaos who had condensed a divine-grade battle body and a son of chaos who had condensed a sacred-grade battle body obviously wouldn't be treated on the same level in the Purple Cloud Palace. They had to see things clearly before making a final decision. Guest Elder Dongyang, please. Wang Ke was waiting outside. When he saw Xinghui come out, he gestured with his hand. At some point, a jade carriage had stopped outside the palace. The carriage was not small, with a space of more than 10 square meters inside. It was like a small bus, pulled by 8 ferocious beasts that Xinghui did not know the name of. There was a formation engraved on it, which looked quite mysterious. Xinghui got into the carriage under Wang Ke's lead. Immediately, the 2 coachmen in front drove the carriage and directly soared into the sky. The ferocious beasts walked on the clouds, pulling the carriage as fast as lightning. The speed was extraordinary. Xinghui estimated that the carriage was running at a speed of 300 to 400 kilometers per hour. A strong wind blew, but for some reason unknown to Xinghui, the wind, which was originally very pressurizing, actually split into 2 sides. It did not have much impact on the carriage's movement, allowing the carriage to maintain its amazing speed as it shuttled through the clouds. It's really amazing, Xinghui said. In terms of convenience, this carriage was actually a little worse than Xinghui's sacred winged draconic eagle. However, this carriage was completely pulled by ferocious beasts and supported by an unknown formation to float in the void. The consumption of energy was extremely small, which was far from what the sacred winged draconic eagle could compare with. This carriage will be the exclusive carriage of Guest Elder Dongyang from now on. The palace lord has already rewarded this carriage to Guest Elder Dongyang. If you want to go out in the future, you can take this carriage, Wang Ke said with some envy. Although flying on a sword was faster than riding a carriage, it was not as comfortable as riding a carriage. Xinghui cupped his hands in the direction of the Purple Cloud Palace. Thank you, Palace Lord. Fenshin sect is quite a distance from our Purple Cloud Palace. It will probably be the morning of the day after tomorrow. Why don't Guest Elder Dongyang rest for a while during this period? Perhaps Fenshin's sect will be right in front of you after circulating your vital qi, Wang Ke said with a smile. Xinghui nodded and did not refuse. When he arrived at Fenshin's sect, he would immediately start to break through to the prominent divine stage and condense the divine-grade Golden Crow battle body. He indeed had to adjust his mental state and prepare for this moment that could affect his future development potential. Chapter 303. The Burning Sky sect was a first-rate sect about 10,000 kilometers away from the Purple Cloud Palace. According to the information of the Purple Cloud Palace, there weren't many experts in the sect. Of course, this so-called not many was actually relative to the Purple Cloud Palace. In fact, if the Burning Sky sect was placed in the Eastern Wilderness, it would definitely be called an existence on the level of the 10 Great Saint sects. If it was in the Chongxin continent, it wouldn't be difficult for them to suppress all the forces in the Chongxin continent and unify the Chongxin continent. In the entire sect, there were 3 people who had reached the true energy realm and could be called ancestors. There were a total of 15 supreme elders in the prominent saint realm. Including the sect master, there were 16 people in total. However, they had to include Xinghui, an outsider. Because they knew in advance that the emissary from the upper sect was about to arrive, the Burning Sky sect didn't dare to be careless. They had already arranged a ceremonial team to wait at the door. Not only did sect master Heartcliff come personally, but there was also a true energy realm ancestor, Qinshua, and 4 supreme elders in the prominent saint realm accompanying him. Sect leader, although this person is from the upper sect, it is said that he is only a guest at the green underworld realm. Our Burning Sky sect is a dignified first-rate sect with 3 ancestors. Even among the many forces that are attached to the Purple Cloud Palace, we are one of the best. Why do we need to mobilize so many people for a mere guest? In the welcoming crowd, a woman whose cultivation had reached the peak of the Cyan Netherworld realm and was full of youthful vitality said with some dissatisfaction, "Saintess, you mustn't underestimate this guest. According to the information I received, this Master Dongyang isn't just an ordinary guest." Chun Shua, who was in the saint realm, said with a solemn expression, "Green Netherworld realm, that's the cultivation of a foreign dignitary, and an ordinary foreign dignitary. Even if he comes from the Purple Cloud Palace, our Burning Sky sect has already thought highly of him by sending a supreme elder to receive him. Why do we need the sect master, and even the ancestor to receive him together? Heartcliff glanced at the woman and said with a stern expression, Lingxi, your third martial uncle is right. This guest Dongyang isn't a simple person. If you treat him as an ordinary Cyan Netherworld realm expert, you're gravely mistaken. It's said that the Purple Cloud Palace has placed high hopes on him. This time, he came to our Burning Sky sect's name to show his strength in the upcoming Fortune Grand Gathering, and obtain the qualification to comprehend the Fortune Divine Jade. Him. A Green Hell Realm cultivator. Even if I'm about to break through to the prominent divine stage, I don't have 100% confidence that I'll be able to obtain the qualifications to comprehend the Fortune Jade. What ability does he have to compete with the top geniuses of the Fortune mainland? In the past, more than half of the people who were qualified to comprehend the Fortune Divine Jade were saints who had formed their true essence, and the other half were elites in the prominent divine realm. He is just a blue darkness realm cultivator, and he is far from them. Since the upper sect placed their hopes on him, they might as well help me. I already have an 80% chance of forming the Saint Grade Bifong combat physique, and with the 6 flame-flowing light flag in my hand, I can summon one of the 4 origin flames, the Nanmingli fire, which can burn everything. With the power of this flame, it isn't impossible for me to enter the top 10. Lingxi's pretty little face was filled with dissatisfaction. Heartcliff looked at her with some regret. In truth, she had planned to recruit a son of chaos and have Lingxi represent the Burning Sky sect in the competition for the right to comprehend the Fortune Jade, but she had no choice but to obey the upper sect's orders. He could only make up an excuse. Although your 6 flame-flowing light flag has a trace of Nanming primordial fire, it's still too little, and its power is inferior to pure Samadhi primordial fire. It's enough to deal with ordinary prominent divine stage experts, but if you want to stand out in the creation banquet, you must have unparalleled battle strength in the prominent divine stage. Therefore, it's better to follow the arrangement of the high sect. It's said that this cultivator from the high sect has cultivated the divine beast Golden Crow bloodline at a young age, and he has maintained the purity of the Golden Crow bloodline to cultivate to the peak of the Blue Netherworld stage. This time, he came to our Burning Sky sect to borrow our 6 flame mystic fire formation, in order to condense the divine grade Golden Crow battle physique. If he really succeeds, with the power of the divine grade battle physique, he might be able to sweep through everyone in the creation banquet, and obtain the qualification to comprehend the creation divine jade. Divine grade Golden Crow battle physique? There was a trace of shock in Lingxi's eyes. How is that possible? Our Fortune mainland's resources can't support a cultivator to cultivate the divine grade Golden Crow battle physique. Being able to condense a Saint grade battle physique is already the limit. How is it possible for him to condense a divine grade battle physique? The upper sect is quite confident in him, and we can't do anything about it. However, let's wait and see. If he succeeds in condensing a divine grade battle physique, then everything will be over. If he fails to condense a divine grade battle physique, then our Burning Sky sect might be able to fight for you to participate in the Fortune Banquet. Hearing Heartcliff's words, Lingxi's eyes flashed. In the past 3,000 years, there have been hundreds of cultivators with a Saint grade battle physique on our Fortune mainland. In almost every generation, there will be hundreds of cultivators with a Saint grade battle physique. However, only 4 people with a divine grade battle physique have appeared in the past 3,000 years. I don't believe that this person called Dongyang is a once-in-a-thousand-years genius. He definitely won't be able to condense a divine grade battle physique. Heartcliff nodded, but didn't say anything. They're here. At this time, a Grand Elder suddenly said. At the end of the horizon, a carriage was moving through the air. It was moving as fast as lightning, and it was rapidly approaching. For 5, 6. It's actually the 8 horses war chariot. A Supreme Elder looked at the 8 ferocious beasts with a hint of shock on his face. It seems that the upper sect really thinks highly of this person. Those who can travel in the 8 horses war chariot are usually elders of the 6 supreme sections. In the eyes of the Purple Cloud Palace's palace master, this person isn't any weaker than an elder. We have to be careful with our attitude towards guest elder Dongyang. Otherwise, our burning sky sect's palace master will be dissatisfied with our attitude. Indeed. The various grand elders spoke one after another, and quickly reached a consensus. Heartcliff took the time to say to Ling Shi, "Don't speak rashly later and offend guest elder Dongyang. Do you understand?" "I know what to do," Ling Shi responded, but there was a trace of unwillingness in her voice. As the most outstanding genius of the Burning Sky sect, her pride wouldn't be suppressed so easily by the name of an upper sect. The 8 horses war chariot soon landed on the square. Heartcliff, Chen Shua, and several supreme elders immediately came forward to welcome it. After Tsing Hui got off the chariot accompanied by Wang Ke, Heartcliff, ancestor Chen Shua, and several supreme elders bowed at the same time. "Greetings, envoy of the upper sect." Wang Ke nodded slightly. When Tsing Hui was in the heaven wasteland world as guest elder Dongyang, experts who had cultivated the immortal golden core had bowed to him more than once or twice. Naturally, he didn't feel anything about this scene. He just waved his hand and said, "Heartcliff elders, you're too polite. I'll be spending the next year in the Burning Sky sect. I'm sorry for disturbing you." Heartcliff secretly breathed a sigh of relief when she heard that Tsing Hui's tone was friendlier. She was really afraid that the upper sect would send an elder who was difficult to serve. "Envoy of the upper sect, you're too modest. It's the Burning Sky sect's honor that you're able to cultivate in the Burning Sky sect. The Burning Sky sect will do our best to support you and help you achieve success as soon as possible. Heartcliff, you don't have to be so polite. I'm joining the Burning Sky sect as a supreme elder, so you don't have to call me envoy. Just treat me as an elder of the Burning Sky sect." This. Heartcliff hesitated for a moment. Seeing that Tsing Hui didn't seem to be joking, she agreed. "Then I'll accept your invitation. Elder Dongyang, let me introduce you to the other elders." Tsing Hui nodded. "This is a disciple of the previous generation of the Burning Sky sect, Supreme Elder Chen Shua of the Saint Realm." In front of Tsing Hui, Heartcliff naturally didn't dare to introduce Chen Shua as a supreme elder. "Greetings, Supreme Elder Chen Shua. You're too polite, Elder Dongyang." Chen Shua returned the greeting with a smile. "This is." Heartcliff introduced the other supreme elders to Tsing Hui one by one. Tsing Hui also greeted them one by one. Seeing how courteous he was, the remaining great elders immediately felt rather flattered. They were no longer as averse to the arrival of their colleague Qing Su as before. After the introductions, they soon arrived in front of Ling Shi. "This is the Burning Sky sect's young sect master, Holy Maiden Ling Shi." "Young sect master Ling Shi." Tsing Hui bowed slightly. "Elder Dongyang." Ling Shi returned the greeting, but before Qing Su could turn to the other person, Ling Shi said rather provocatively, "I heard that Elder Dongyang has cultivated the true qi of the divine beast, the golden crow. His heritage is tremendous, and his battle prowess is impressive. I, Ling Shi, have never seen an expert who has cultivated the bloodline of a divine beast to the peak of the blue darkness realm. I wonder if Senior Dongyang can show us a thing or two so that we can broaden our horizons and witness the might of a divine beast." Heartcliff's expression changed at her words. "Ling Shi, what nonsense are you talking about? Don't be rude. Get out of here." Chen Shua also reprimanded her in a deep voice. Tsing Hui, on the other hand, was slightly startled. He glanced at the stubborn Ling Shi and seemed to understand something. He laughed involuntarily. "I came here mainly to cultivate in seclusion to break through to the prominent divine stage and condense a divine-grade battle body. Now that my essence, energy, and spirit have been completely adjusted, it's not appropriate for me to fight too much. If Holy Maiden Ling Shi is willing, I can show you my divine-grade battle body after I cultivate it. After all, it's not good to have a prominent divine stage cultivation base in the fortune pageant." Ling Shi understood what Tsing Hui meant and immediately chuckled. "It won't be long before I break through to the prominent divine stage. Since Elder Dongyang said that you can show me your divine-grade battle body after you cultivate it, why don't we exchange pointers then? Only through a head-on battle can we truly understand how powerful the battle body derived from the divine beast bloodline is, right? Since Holy Maiden Ling Shi has asked, I have no reason to refuse." Tsing Hui said. He was also a little curious. He didn't know how much the so-called immortal techniques of this world could increase one's combat strength. By exchanging blows with Holy Maiden Lingxi in advance, he could prepare and advance the combat methods of this continent's cultivators. This way, he wouldn't fail miserably at the fortune pageant. Chapter 304. This disciple of a small sect doesn't know the power of an upper sect emissary. Elder Dongyang, please forgive this girl for offending you. Rockheart hurriedly stepped forward and said apologetically, Sect Master Rockheart. What are you talking about? What small sect disciple? Am I not a member of the Burning Sky sect now? Xinghui said with a smile. Seeing that Qingsu did not seem to be angered, Rockheart let out a sigh of relief. Elder Dongyang is right. Thank you for your understanding, Elder Dongyang. Please come in, please come in. After saying that, she secretly glared at Lingxi. However, Lingxi did not feel that she had done anything wrong. When she defeated Xinghui a year later with the help of the Nanming primordial fire, the Purple Cloud Palace would naturally understand who was the genius disciple with the real hope of obtaining the right to comprehend the creation divine jade for the Purple Cloud Palace. Sect Master, the creation grand pageant is about to begin, and it's not easy to condense a divine-grade battle body. Therefore, please take me to the place where I cultivate in seclusion, so that I can break through to the prominent divine stage as soon as possible and condense a divine-grade battle body. Only then can I live up to the Palace Master's trust in me. Xinghui said. Elder Dongyang is worthy of being a young talent who has cultivated to such a realm in less than 100 years. It is precisely because of Elder Dongyang's unwillingness to slack off that you have such achievements and caught the attention of the Palace Master. I originally wanted to hold a banquet to welcome Elder Dongyang, but now it seems that if I really do so, it will only delay Elder Dongyang's cultivation. I'll take Elder Dongyang to the Six Flame Mysterious Fire Formation now. Thank you, Sect Master. Rockheart nodded. After a moment, she seemed to have thought of something and turned to Lingxi. If you want to break through and condense the Bifang sacred body, go to the Sacred Flame Cave to cultivate in seclusion. Yes, Sect Master. Lingxi lowered her head in humiliation and agreed. The Six Blazing Mystic Fire Array was originally a place for her to cultivate. If she wanted to break through to the prominent divine stage and condense the Bifang sacred ground, she had to borrow the power of the Six Blazing Mystic Fire Array. However, with the arrival of Xinghui, he had stolen the place that originally belonged to her. This made her extremely dissatisfied with Xinghui. Under Rockheart's lead, Xinghui quickly arrived at a basin. The basin had sunk nearly 300 meters into the ground, but because the basin was more than 10 kilometers in diameter, it was not obvious. The entire basin was located above an underground magma stream. Due to the sinkhole in the ground, magma was constantly gushing out from all directions. Magma could even be seen flowing freely on some of the hills. If a mortal were to step into this area, they would definitely be frightened to the point that their legs would go soft from the shock of seeing such a shocking landscape. The reason why our Burning Sky sect is called the Burning Sky sect is because of this special terrain. A lot of magma rushed up to the mountain peak, and at a glance, the magma flames seemed to be burning in the sky. That's why we have the name Burning Sky. Rockheart led Xinghui into the basin and explained to Xinghui with a smile. The name Burning Sky is indeed well-deserved. Xinghui nodded. The temperature in this basin was extremely high, probably no lower than 150 degrees Celsius. Ordinary people would not be able to survive here. However, Xinghui was a cultivator of the Great Sun Golden Crow technique, so he was extremely resistant to heat. If he circulated his stellar energy to protect himself, he would not be injured even if he jumped into the magma. The Burning Sky sect was also a sect that specialized in fire attribute cultivation methods and focused on awakening the bloodline of the sacred beast Bifang. A temperature of 150 degrees Celsius was nothing to her. Under Rockheart's lead, Xinghui quickly arrived at the center of the Six Blazing Mystical Fire Array. This formation attracted all the blazing flames in the surroundings to the core of the basin, causing streams of pure earth fire energy to condense around the area. If a fire attribute cultivator refined the fire energy within, the effect produced would not be inferior to refining a fire attribute spirit crystal. It's truly a cultivation paradise. Qingsu saw this and sighed in admiration. The value of this 6 blazing mystical fire array was comparable to the value of the entire hidden flame mountain of the Jinwu religion. It's good that Elder Dongyang is satisfied. Elder, you can cultivate here for a period of time. There are disciples at the east entrance of the basin at all times. If you need anything, you can ask them to do it. Thank you, Sect Master. Elder, you're too polite. I wish Elder Dongyang the best of luck in condensing a divine-grade battle body and stepping into the prominent divine stage. Thank you for your kind words, Sect Master. Xing Hui responded with a smile. After settling the matter, Rockheart cupped his hands at Xing Hui and left. Xing Hui went to the platform in the center of the 6 blazing mystical fire array. This platform was more than 10 meters wide and octagonal in shape. There was a crack in the ground at each angle. Flames rose from the cracks, making it seem as if a cultivator was sitting cross-legged on the platform, as if they were sitting in a furnace. If they rashly stepped in without sufficient cultivation, they would die. With such an excellent place for cultivation, Xing Hui did not waste any time and quickly began to adjust his essence, qi, and spirit. While adjusting his essence, qi, and spirit, he also reviewed the method of condensing the Golden Crow battle body, recorded in the 6th level of the Great Sun Golden Crow technique. He had already thoroughly comprehended the 6th level of the Great Sun Golden Crow technique. In addition, not long ago, he had gone to the core of the Great Sun in the sky and used the unique environment of the core to peek at the true body of the divine beast, the Golden Crow. As a result, he had a deeper understanding of the Golden Crow battle body. After spending 3 days to adjust his genuine qi and spirit, he did not hesitate to take out the meteorite elixir that he had bought from the Galaxy Chamber of Commerce. He swallowed it and refined his genuine qi with the help of the meteorite elixir. At the same time, he took out the Golden Crow soul essence that he had exchanged from the Chaos Treasure Pavilion. He operated the Great Sun Golden Crow technique, and the pure energy contained in the Golden Crow soul essence and the remnant soul of the Golden Crow were drawn into his body at the same time. Although the remnant soul of the Golden Crow was only a remnant soul, it still contained a great pressure. After it was drawn into Xing Hui's spirit world, it was as if it had turned into a dazzling sun, blooming with endless light and illuminating his entire spirit world. Endless light and heat continuously spread out from the remnant soul of the Golden Crow, making him feel as if his spirit world was about to melt. Fortunately, as he continued to comprehend the real body of the divine beast Golden Crow, the divine soul of the Golden Crow in his mind was already infinitely close to the real divine soul of the Golden Crow. As the remnant soul of the Golden Crow exuded a dazzling radiance, the divine soul of the Golden Crow that was formed by his spirit world also manifested, constantly swallowing the light and heat. It was as if 2 burning stars had completed the fusion in his body and merged into one, causing the divine soul of the Golden Crow, which was completely under Xing Hui's control, to become even more dazzling. It was so dazzling that it almost jumped out of the spirit world and manifested in the real world, as if the primordial spirit had left the body. Divine show, divine show. This was the true essence of the divine show realm. However, although Xing Hui's divine soul of the Golden Crow had been condensed to the point where it almost broke the shackles of the spirit world and manifested in the real world, without the support of enough energy, it was still unable to take the last step and manifest in the form of a divine body. Under such circumstances, the Golden Crow's soul essence contained a similarly vast amount of power, which coincidentally became a crucial step for Xing Hui to break through the crucial threshold. The power of the Golden Crow's soul essence continued to fill his body, causing the energy in his body to undergo a shocking fission reaction. The vast energy pressure continued to spread from his body. Even the disciples outside the basin could feel it clearly, causing them to tremble in fear. Fortunately, Xing Hui's body contained the efficacy of the Sunfall Pill. His genuine qi, which had obtained the power of the Golden Crow's soul essence, continued to fission, causing his energy to skyrocket. However, Under the influence of the Sunfall Pill's power, it was always maintained in a controllable range. If it weren't for the efficacy of the Sunfall Pill suppressing the power of the Golden Crow's soul essence, it was very likely that his body would explode, and he would die on the spot. Endless energy continued to split and accumulate. When the amount reached a shocking density, it finally broke through some kind of limit. In the next moment, the genuine qi in his body surged, directly connecting to his sea of consciousness between his eyebrows. The Golden Crow's divine soul in his sea of consciousness, which had already been condensed to the limit and was about to break through the illusory spiritual world, rushed out of the shackles of the spiritual world under Tsing Hui's control and merged with the genuine qi that had been condensed to the limit. At this moment, the illusory had obtained a medium. At this moment, reality had also obtained the guidance and release of the divine soul's power. Rumble. In the next moment, a golden crow that was burning with endless flames suddenly appeared behind Tsing Hui. The raging flames swallowed a radius of several hundred meters. In the center of the basin, it was as if there was a scorching sun that suddenly rose. Endless light and resplendence instantly filled the space within a radius of several dozen kilometers, causing everyone within several kilometers to be unable to open their eyes. It almost covered the radiance of the sun in the sky. What a terrifying pressure. This pressure seems to originate from the bloodline. Someone has stepped into the prominent divine stage? But even if he has really stepped into the prominent divine stage, it shouldn't have caused such a huge commotion, right? Fire Origin Qi. The fire origin qi in the air is spontaneously gathering toward the 6 blazing mystic fire array. It's like a subject worshipping their king. As the extremely resplendent light shone in all directions, the 3 ancestors of the Burning Sky sect and the Blue Netherworld realm powerhouses, who were sensitive to the origin qi of heaven and earth, all looked in the direction of the 6 blazing mystic fire array in horror. Their eyes were filled with disbelief. Sect Master Rockheart of the Burning Sky sect and several True Energy Realm ancestors, who had a slight understanding of the details, were all moved and gathered together immediately. That Elder Dongyang he succeeded. Such a terrifying pressure, and the change in the fire yuan qi of heaven and earth. He must have succeeded. He must have taken that crucial step. Moreover, more than 90% of the awakened divine battle physique is awakened. Only a divine battle physique can make me feel such a powerful pressure. Is it really a divine battle physique? But how can it be so fast? It hasn't even been a month since he started his closed-door cultivation. In just a month, he broke through the threshold of the Blue Netherworld realm to the prominent divine stage and condensed a divine battle physique that's rarely seen in the last 1,000 years? Is this Elder Dongyang from the Purple Cloud Palace really that talented? Does the Purple Cloud Palace value him so much that the Palace Master personally ordered me to treat Elder Dongyang well? Rockheart said with a hint of envy in his eyes. On the other hand, Chen Shua glanced regretfully in Ling Shi's direction. She's still a genius disciple that the Purple Cloud Palace has meticulously nurtured. Ling Shi, even though her talent is rare in our Burning Sky sect, compared to a genius disciple nurtured by a supreme sect, she's still far inferior. Although the other elders were unwilling to admit it, they could only nod helplessly when they saw the endless light in the direction of the 6 blazing mystic fire array. The sun was high in the sky, and no moon or stars could be seen. Under the dazzling light of the divine battle physique, all the battle physiques below the divine battle physique paled in comparison. Chapter 305. Please enter the text. Manifest. Manifest divinity. In the Burning Sky sect's Holy Flame Cave, Ling Shi stared blankly at the 6 blazing mysterious fire formation, unable to regain her senses for a moment. 1 year. 1 year. Didn't you say that it would take 1 year to condense the Golden Crow physique and manifest divinity? Why did it take 1 month? Only 1 month. The huge blow made her, who had always been proud of herself and had never placed the geniuses of the outside world in her eyes, feel disappointed and frustrated. The shock that Tsing Hui, who had originally thought it would take a year, brought to the Burning Sky sect and the Purple Cloud Palace in just 1 month, could be imagined. However, Xinghui did not take these sex reactions to heart. To him, the Fortune mainland was just a passerby. After obtaining the Fortune Jade, he would directly leave this mainland and return to the Eastern Wasteland. The next time he came to the Fortune mainland, he would probably be an almighty expert who had derived divine abilities. At that time, he would only have one purpose in coming to the Fortune mainland, and that was to unify the world. Therefore, he did not need to think too much about these people's attitudes towards him. The power within the Golden Crow's soul essence was far denser than Qing Su had imagined it to be. In particular, he had ingested the Sunfall pill first, which allowed him to unleash the full power of the Golden Crow's soul essence. The fusion of the Golden Crow God Soul and Zhenqi allowed him to directly break through the threshold of the Vision Divine stage. Condensing the Golden Crow God body was just the beginning. The endless amount of energy was like a tidal wave crashing into his body, causing the Zhenqi in his body to constantly increase. Adding on his Zhenqi control at the small success stage of the Zhenqi Void technique, the amount of time the Golden Crow God body could last was also increasing. Less than half a month after Xinghui stepped into the prominent divine stage, the true qi in his body underwent a new round of fission. Originally, his true qi was only at the early stage of the prominent divine stage, but now, it rushed to the mid-stage of the prominent divine stage. After reaching the mid-stage of the prominent divine stage, the energy within the Golden Crow's soul essence had naturally dissipated, but a large portion of it still remained in Xinghui's body. The energy that had settled in Xinghui's body was too pure for Xinghui to see with his current spiritual force purity. Even if he had reached the mid-stage of the prominent divine stage, he was unable to extract this energy and turn it into true qi. Instead, with the passage of time, this true qi would be wasted. What a pity! If my mental strength could reach level 80, or if my true energy could reach great success, there's a 60% chance that I could use the power of this Golden Crow's soul to directly push my cultivation to the late stage of prominent divine stage. Xinghui scanned his spiritual force. The Golden Crow's godly soul had refined the Golden Crow's remnant soul. Coupled with the fusion of the godly soul and the essence qi, he had refined the qi into the godly soul. As a result, his spiritual strength had increased by 2 stages, from 73 to 75. However, there were still 5 stages to go before his spiritual strength could reach 80. The effect of the broken sword on my spiritual force has decreased slightly, but it should be able to push my spiritual force to the 80th level. Next, if I want to refine my spiritual force, I will either have to find other opportunities, or find a way to get rid of the solid true qi-like energy around the broken sword. To the broken sword, that solid energy is like a seal. Once this energy is removed, the sword essence within the broken sword will no longer be suppressed and will be completely drawn out. At that time, the strength of the sword essence will increase by several times, and the effect on my spiritual force will also increase. Xinghui quickly understood the situation he was facing. At this time, he vaguely understood why Master Zhongzhen wanted him to focus on refining his spiritual force, as well as why Master Zhu Zhao taught him the method of transforming true qi into void. The older, the wiser. Zhongzhen Shangren and Zhu Zhao Shangren, who were both at the peak of the Saint Realm, knew better than him what kind of difficulties he would encounter in his following cultivation. If he could temper his mental strength early on, or cultivate the technique of transforming his vital energy into nothingness, he wouldn't have to have any regrets about this closed-door cultivation. Although the remaining power of the Golden Crow's soul in my body cannot be refined into pure true qi to help me reach the late stage of the prominent divine stage, but it is enough to refine the eternal blazing Sunday. A bright light flashed across Xinghui's eyes. The eternal blazing Sunday. This was the most powerful killing weapon in the first 6 stages of the Great Sun Golden Crow technique. The main reason why the Jinwu religion could be ranked as one of the 10 great saint sects, and why even the Creation Mysterious sect found it difficult to defeat them, was because of the eternal blazing Sunday. The energy contained in each eternal blazing sun was equivalent to the full force attack of a prominent divine expert. Furthermore, the stronger the cultivator's divine body was, the more powerful the eternal blazing sun would be. The eternal blazing sun was a strategic resource of the Jinwu religion, and it was rarely left outside. However, when some disciples were of noble status and urgently needed protection, and the Jinwu religion could not send enough experts, they would choose to bestow the eternal blazing sun upon them. However, this eternal blazing sun was usually of the lowest quality, and it was mainly refined by cultivators with spiritual-grade divine bodies. Those that were kept in the religion as the ultimate killing weapon were usually refined by cultivators with divine-grade battle bodies. The full-force attack of a prominent divine expert when he manifests his divine body. Xing Hui made a rough estimation. Although he had reached the middle stage of the prominent divine stage, the consumption of a divine-grade battle body was much greater than that of a saint-grade battle body. If he did not fill his battle body with the Scarlet Sun True Qi from the Torch Sun Sutra, he could only maintain the Golden Crow battle body for 10 breaths of time. Even if he included the consumption of the Scarlet Sun True Qi, he could only maintain it for 12 to 13 breaths of time. The so-called full-force attack was actually equivalent to activating the innate talent of the battle body. For example, the Heavenly Peng Sword Wings and Void Imprisonment of the Hunyuan Heaven Sect's Grand Elder Qin Zhen's Heavenly Peng Sacred Body, and the soul-dispersing divine wind of the Creation Mysterious Sect's Grand Elder Wu Sui's Philian Sacred Body. There were only 2 innate talents that could be activated by the Golden Crow divine body. One was the Great Sun True Fire, and the other was the Eternal Blazing Sun. Both of them were methods to destroy the enemy. Of course, although the Golden Crow divine body was equivalent to the Golden Crow divine soul manifested in the real world, it was not the resurrection of the Golden Crow. The Great Sun True Fire was still inferior to the Great Sun True Fire, but in terms of power, it could be said to be able to burn all life. If a true energy stage or even a transcendent stage expert did not have the means to avoid fire, they would definitely die if they were directly burned by the Great Sun True Fire. As for the Eternal Blazing Sun, it was the predecessor of the Eternal Blazing Sunday. Its characteristics were similar to the Sword of the Sun that Xing Hui had learned. The difference was that the Sword of the Glorious Sun was a single target attack. The other targets could only be regarded as shockwaves from the explosion of power at most. On the other hand, the resplendent eternity completely erupted the heat and true essence within the user's body in a single moment. It was an area of effect attack. Its power was actually on par with the incomplete Sword of the Glorious Sun from Green Ruins. Indiscriminately killing all the billions of swords of the sun within a radius of 20 kilometers. It was terrifying just thinking about it. If Xing Hui used the Great Sun True Fire, when he manifested the Golden Crow divine body, he could use it 4 or 5 times. As for the Eternal Blazing Sun, it would dissipate after 1 or 2 times due to the excessive consumption of true qi. After all, the Great Sun Golden Crow technique is the most ordinary divine scripture. Compared to the superior first-rate, top, and supreme divine scriptures, its effect is naturally inferior. I don't know if there is a supreme divine scripture in the cultivation of the divine beast Golden Crow, but there must be a first-rate divine scripture. There was once someone who cultivated a first-rate divine scripture and awakened the 4 innate talents of the Golden Crow divine body. While Xing Hui was shocked by the innate talents of the Golden Crow divine body, he also felt a little regretful. After all, ordinary divine scriptures were inferior to superior and first-rate divine scriptures. After the divine body was condensed, the number of innate talents was the biggest difference. In the prominent divine stage, due to the limited amount of true qi, the number of innate talents didn't reflect the difference. But as one's cultivation continued to increase, reaching the true energy stage, the transformative stage, and even the 3rd level of the saint stage, the difference would gradually widen. After all, if one's talents were too limited, it would be too easy to be targeted and restrained. The Great Sun Golden Crow technique is already 1 step behind others. If I want to catch up with the real top talents, I can only work on the saint stage cultivation method. In the saint stage, there is a very important stage, which is the divine ability derivation stage. What kind of cultivation method one cultivates, and what kind of divine ability one can derive, will directly determine the highest achievement of the cultivator in the future. Xing Hui secretly made up his mind. The more he advanced, the more difficult it would be to fight against people of a higher level. Therefore, If he wanted to maintain the advantage in battle strength and fight against people of a higher level, the divine ability derivation stage was very important. This was mainly a problem of the upper limit of the bloodline. Cultivators of the dire beast bloodline could only cultivate to the immortality stage. Unless their bloodline mutated, the prominent divine stage was their limit. Some of the more ordinary dire beast bloodline cultivators could only cultivate to the azure hell stage, spirit and chi integration stage, or even spirit refining stage and true chi stage. In other words, in the saint stage, almost 100% of the cultivators of the spirit beast bloodline were cultivators. The upper limit of the dire beast bloodline was the immortality stage, and the spirit beast bloodline also had an upper limit, which was the saint stage. When one reached the saint stage, there would be almost no bloodline cultivators below the saint stage. And when the divine beast bloodline fought against the saint beast bloodline, the advantage was not obvious. Under such circumstances, if he wanted to rely on his bloodline to fight against people of a higher level, it would naturally be futile. For example, in the immortal level, although the cultivator of the spirit beast bloodline had a certain advantage over the cultivator of the ferocious beast bloodline, it was not obvious. Some external factors could easily allow the cultivator of the ferocious beast bloodline to kill the cultivator of the spirit beast bloodline. Focusing his mind, Xing Hui began to condense the eternal blazing sun by continuously excavating the energy of the golden crow's soul essence and using his talent, Eternal Resplendent. The eternal blazing sun condensed by cultivators of the divine grade battle body. As long as the number reached 2 digits, he was confident that he could even kill a transcendent stage expert, let alone a true element stage expert. Chapter 306. 2. 2 months later, 2 pearls appeared in Xing Hui's hands. They emitted an intense aura that made it hard for people to open their eyes. Eternal Blazing Sunday. 2 eternal blazing suns. In these 2 months, Xing Hui had almost squeezed out all the energy from the golden crow's soul essence. Even his own true chi had been depleted once or twice. If we don't consider the possibility of failure, a great sun golden crow technique cultivator, at the prominent divine stage, can only refine 1 eternal blazing sun in a year. However, the refinement of the eternal blazing sun has an extremely high requirement on mental energy and true chi control. Most prominent divine stage cultivators only have a success rate of less than 20%. In other words, they can only refine 1 eternal blazing sun every 5 to 6 years. Taking into account the age of 200 years when they reach the prominent divine stage, a prominent divine stage cultivator can only refine 30 eternal blazing suns in their lifetime. Adding on the fact that the prominent divine stage cultivator cannot put all their energy into refining the eternal blazing sun, in half the time, they can only refine 15 eternal blazing suns in their lifetime. Xing Hui calculated silently. Only then did he truly understand the value of an eternal blazing Sunday. He finally understood why the Jin Wu religion only bestowed 1 eternal blazing sun to their saintess. And why did Luo Rieo feel such heartache when he exploded 10 eternal blazing sun on his body? The price was too high. Of course, creating an eternal blazing sun in 5 to 6 years was under normal circumstances. Practice makes perfect. Those cultivators who had a good grasp of their own vital energy and had a strong mind naturally had a success rate of more than 20% when refining the eternal blazing Sunday. Some could even reach 30%, 40%, or even 50 to 60%. Furthermore, the biggest problem with creating an eternal blazing sun was the depletion of true chi. If one consumed a lot of true chi recovery pills during this period of time, or if one was born in an area with a high concentration of energy, the creation speed would be greatly reduced. If one could create 3 eternal blazing suns in a year, even if the success rate was only 20%, the creation time would still be reduced to 2 to 3 years. For example, Xing Hui was able to refine 2 eternal blazing suns in 2 months. It was all thanks to the golden crow's soul essence, his 75 mental strength, his 6th level recovery ability, and his vital energy transformation technique. If he could raise his recovery ability to level 10 and cultivate his vital energy to level 80, it would not be difficult for him to maintain the production rate of one eternal blazing sun every 2 to 3 months. The forging method of the eternal blazing sun and the innate ability of the Golden Crow bloodline, eternal resplendent, are quite similar to the sword of the glorious sun. Xing Hui recalled every detail of refining the eternal blazing sun over the past 2 months, and his heart skipped a beat. Anyway, there were still 9 months left before the 1-year time limit. Occupying the unique cultivation environment of the 6 blazing mysterious fire formation, he was not in a hurry to end his closed-door training. He immediately devoted all his attention to the enlightenment of the sword of the glorious sun. While comprehending the sword of the glorious sun, he did not forget to cultivate his vital energy transformation technique. At this moment, he truly understood the painstaking efforts of esteemed Zhu Zhao to impart the vital energy transformation technique to him. Naturally, he would not neglect esteemed Zhu Zhao's kind intentions. The degree of effort he put into the vital energy transformation technique was not inferior to that of the sword of the glorious sun. Time passed quickly, and in the blink of an eye, another half a year had passed. Just as Xing Hui made good progress in his comprehension of the sword of the glorious sun and the vital energy transformation technique, far away in the direction of the sacred flame cave, a majestic aura soared into the sky and turned into a brilliant red light. In the red light, like a rosy sunset, the figure of a Baifeng appeared in the distance. It raised its head to the sky and let out a long cry, setting off waves of flames. Although this momentum could not be compared with Xing Hui's Golden Crow battle body, it could still be said to be mighty. The Baifeng was a sacred beast. Condensing the Baifeng battle body was equivalent to condensing a saint-grade battle body, which was naturally stronger than an ordinary spiritual-grade battle body. Xing Hui looked in that direction a few times, then slowly withdrew his gaze and continued to devote his energy to the vital energy transformation technique and the sword of the glorious sun. He had never been in closed-door training for half a year like this before. During this half a year of silent meditation, his understanding of the method of transforming into virtual energy and the sword of the glorious sun had advanced by leaps and bounds. He even had a faint illusion that when he cultivated the method of transforming into virtual energy to the Desheng level, he would have a new understanding of the control of his own true qi, and the sword of the glorious sun would also break through to the Desheng level. Similarly, if he cultivated the sword of the glorious sun to the advanced level, the efficiency of his vital energy would rise to a new level, and the vital energy transformation technique would also be driven by the improvement of the sword of the glorious sun and enter the advanced level. When the vital energy transformation technique entered the advanced level, there would be no more obstacles in his cultivation before reaching the transformative stage. If the sword of the glorious sun could enter the advanced level, then the lethality of this sword would be enough to pose a fatal threat to experts of the transformative stage. As for ordinary vital energy boundary cultivators, unless they had a 9th order armor to protect themselves, or they were also talented peerless geniuses who had cultivated the divine grade vital energy boundary, otherwise, there was no chance of survival in the face of such a sword. After all, it's still a little short. If my chaos level could still be improved by 1 level every 100 days like before, I could put 1 chaos level into the advanced level, and take advantage of the spark of inspiration that burst out the moment my comprehension level reached the advanced level to cultivate the vital energy transformation technique, and the sword of the glorious sun to the advanced level. Xing Hui was full of regret. Unfortunately, in the end he could only shake his head, collect his thoughts, and focus his attention on the vital energy transformation technique. The meditation continued. Half a month later, Xing Hui, who was meditating on the vital energy transformation technique, suddenly felt something and separated a part of his mind to project into the Chaos Temple. When he came to the personal space of the Chaos Temple, he saw Lingyu, Lord Zhenhai, Yan Huang, Xian Long, and Nalan Fei waiting anxiously. When they saw Xing Hui appear, they immediately surrounded him. "Xing Hui, you're finally here." Alliance Master, something bad has happened. Xing Hui's eyes swept over them one by one and frowned. What happened? Nalan Fei and Lord Junhai both looked at Ling Yu at the same time. Ling Yu did not dare to hesitate and hurriedly said, Create Evolve Mysterious Sect. It's the Create Evolve Mysterious Sect. The Create Evolve Mysterious Sect has built a medium-sized Gate of Fortune on the Flying Snow Island in the East Sea. Using the Gate of Fortune on the Flying Snow Island as the foundation, they're building the Gates of Fortune on the Snowfall Island and the Frigid Snow Island at full speed. Once they've completed the 2 Gates of Fortune, the 3 islands will form a triangle and be equipped with both offense and defense. When that time comes, we may not be able to easily drive them out of the East Sea even if we use 10 times our strength. The Create Evolve Mysterious Sect has built a Gate of Fortune in the East Sea? Xing Hui was slightly taken aback. Yes, the Create Evolve Mysterious Sect's actions this time completely caught us off guard. No one would have thought that they would make a comeback so quickly after their first failure in the East Sea. The sect master also received the news and handed over many matters in the East Sea to you, Xing Hui. However, such a huge loophole has appeared in the East Sea. The Create Evolve Mysterious Sect actually bypassed the encirclement of the Wuxia Sword Sect and other forces, and directly opened up a battlefield in the East Sea. This made them very anxious and they ordered you to deal with this matter immediately and destroy the Gate of Fortune on the Flying Snow Island. Anxious? Xing Hui could understand the Hunyuan Heavenly Sect's thoughts. Although the Hunyuan Heavenly Sect was an ally of the Wuxia Sword Sect, and was currently in the honeymoon phase of cooperation with the Jinwu religion, they also viewed the Create Evolve Mysterious Sect as their greatest threat. However, although the Create Evolve Mysterious Sect could threaten the Hunyuan Heavenly Sect previously, those threats were ultimately far away. With the Wuxia Sword Sect and the Jinwu religion as a barrier, the Hunyuan Heavenly Sect did not directly feel the urgency of the impending crisis. However, it was different now. The East Sea region where the Life Moon Alliance was located was the closest to the Hunyuan Heavenly Sect's sea region. The Flying Snow Island was approximately 14,000 kilometers away from Moon Lake Island, and only 38,000 kilometers from the Hunyuan Heavenly Sect's inland. If the Create Evolve Mysterious Sect wanted to attack the Hunyuan Heavenly Sect, let alone the illustrious Saint Stage experts flying at full speed on their swords, even if they rode a 4th Order Saint, winged Golden Pung or a 5th Order warship, they could still attack the Hunyuan Heavenly Sect's territory in 4 to 5 days. Such a real threat made the Hunyuan Heavenly Sect's people uneasy, which was why they were so anxious. The Create Evolve Mysterious Sect has invaded the East Sea on a large scale. I'm afraid it's not as simple as just a fortune gate. There should be Supreme Elder level experts guarding it, right? Now that the Fortune Gate has been built, our Life Moon Alliance can't destroy the Fortune Gate on the Flying Snow Island. Won't the Hunyuan Heavenly Sect send reinforcements? The Hunyuan Heavenly Sect has not sent any substantial reinforcements. Moreover, they only want us to destroy the 2 Fortune Gates on the Freezing Snow Island and the Falling Snow Island. As for the Flying Snow Island, it's best if we can destroy it, but if we can't, they won't force us. What about the Wuxia Sword Sect and the Jinwu religion? Don't they have any response? I remember that the Golden Blade Island is less than 6,000 kilometers away from the Flying Snow Island. There's not much movement on the Golden Blade Island. There's no movement. Xing Hui pondered for a moment before he said, I'm now in a critical period of my cultivation. In at most 3 months, I will be able to break through and step into the prominent domain stage. At that time, even if the Fortune Gate on the Flying Snow Island is built, I will be able to destroy it with my prominent domain cultivation and saint arts. Therefore, the Hunyuan Heavenly Sect will send people to restrain the Fortune Gate on the Freezing Snow Island and the Falling Snow Island. Nalan Fei reminded him, if the Hunyuan Heavenly Sect sends Supreme Elders, your authority in the Life Moon Alliance will be affected. Moreover, it will be difficult to explain to the sect. It's fine. The true foundation of the Life Moon Alliance is the Class 9 Sacred Beast, Hao Ming. The elders of the Life Moon Alliance know this very well. As for the sect, there was a faint sense of pride on Qing Su's face. Once I break through to the illustrious Sage realm and display battle prowess that is no weaker than any true energy realm cultivator, or even enough to threaten transformative realm experts. I believe they won't want our life alliance to give them any more explanations. Nalan Fei pondered for a moment before nodding and revealing a smile. That's right. Xing Hui, you are no longer the same as before. You no longer need to listen to the Hunyuan heavenly sect. On the contrary, the Hunyuan heavenly sect will have to consider your attitude when making decisions. This will become even more obvious when you step into the prominent domain stage. Strength is the foundation. If the creation mysterious gate of destinies cannot be stopped, then let them be. Once I exit my seclusion, I will definitely destroy these gate of destinies with ease. I will also spit out all the islands that belong to our Life Moon Alliance that they have occupied. Lord Zhenhai, Ling Yu and the others could feel the confidence in Xing Hui's tone. They exchanged a glance and felt relieved. If that's the case, then we will wait for the Alliance Master to step into the prominent domain stage, condense a battle body, and conquer the world. Chapter 307. After settling the matters regarding the Fortune Gate, Xing Hui planned to leave the Primal Chaos Divine Palace once again. Leaving a trace of his consciousness in the Primal Chaos Divine Palace was equivalent to multitasking, which had a great impact on the comprehension of cultivation methods. It was also because of this that he did not know what had happened in the Primal Chaos Divine Palace in the past half a year. As such, he did not have enough time to react, allowing the Fortune Gate to be established on the Flying Snow Island. Just as he was about to leave, a message fell into his hand. Glancing at the message, Xing Hui's eyes lit up. He quickly stepped into a secret personal space. His appearance suddenly changed greatly. From a mature young man in his 20s, he turned into a dignified old man in his 50s. As he finished changing his appearance, a figure appeared in the secret personal space. It was Sun Qi, the person he had placed in the Chongzhen continent as a chess piece. Greetings, senior. Seeing Xing Hui, Sun Qi immediately bowed respectfully. Is there something you need from me? Senior, I have news about the matter you asked me to investigate. A 25-year-old woman who has awakened the four-eyed bird's bloodline, condensed holy grade Jin Qi, and majored in swordsmanship. Moreover, her cultivation has increased by leaps and bounds in a short period of time. She is the third-ranked direct disciple of the Venerable Heaven sect, Yu Qingyan. Yu Qingyan. Xing Hui's heart skipped a beat. Yu Tong Yu Yin Tong Yen. This name made him believe a little. Tell me more about this Yu Qingyan. Yu Qingyan is a direct disciple who joined the Venerable Heaven sect 3 years ago. Her performance has always been outstanding, but this kind of performance can't be considered top-notch. She has always maintained her position among the top geniuses. A year ago, she condensed holy grade Jin Qi, which caused a small commotion. A month ago, she condensed Earth Qi at an extremely fast speed. If it were not for her lack of proficiency in fighting, she would have been qualified to become a direct disciple and become a candidate for the Venerable Heaven sect's deputy sect master. Spirit Refining Realm. Xing Hui nodded. I'm afraid that this Yu Qingyan did not miss out on the title of the #1 true disciple because she was not proficient in fighting. Rather, it was because she did not want to show off too much. The #1 true disciple was always at the heart of the storm, while the #2 true disciple was always being watched by the #1 true disciple, and even by many other true disciples. Only the #3 true disciple, whose ranking was not low, was a level lower in terms of deterrence. The various pressures from the sect were unable to support her, which gave her enough time to speed up her cultivation and accumulate sufficient strength. But the #1 successor disciple is blessed by the heavens in terms of resources and nurturing. It is far from what the second and third successor disciples can compare to. If she really wants to stand out, I'm afraid. Resources? She doesn't lack resources. Xing Hui's expression turned serious. It seems that I've underestimated this woman's scheming. For such a cautious woman, it would not be easy to find the whereabouts of the Dao-carrying treasures on her, especially if she kept all the Dao-carrying treasures in her personal space. At the crucial moment, She would absorb all the Tao-carrying treasures and transform them into the chaos grade. If that happened, all his efforts would be in vain. It seems like I have to use a different method to deal with her. Smart women often make the right choice. Xing Hui had a plan in his heart. However, he was currently in the Fortune mainland, which was tens of millions of li away from the Chongqing continent. He could not return for the time being, so he could only say, "You've done well. I'm currently delayed by some matters, and will need a few more months. When I return to the Chongqing continent, I won't forget to reward you." It is this junior's honor to be able to help senior. This junior does not dare to claim credit. Change the reward, change the punishment. What's yours is yours. This has always been my principle. All right, when I return to the Chongqing continent, I will inform you. Yes. Sun Qi bowed respectfully. This junior will take his leave. As soon as he finished speaking, he disappeared from the personal space. It seems like I have to settle the matter on the Fortune mainland as soon as possible. There are still many things to take care of in the eastern wasteland. Being on the Fortune mainland, which is far from the core of the world, is extremely inconvenient to do anything. Even if I can find that chaos child Yu Yan, and ask her about the Tao-carrying treasures, I don't dare to send my incarnation down. A third-order incarnation technique expert would be weakened for several years if they sent their incarnation down to the Fortune mainland. Xing Hui knew that his mental strength was far inferior to those third-order incarnations. Naturally, he did not dare to rashly try. After leaving the Chaos Divine Temple, Xing Hui once again immersed himself in cultivation. In the blink of an eye, another 2 months had passed. In the past 2 months, Qing Su's understanding of the Sword of the Glorious Sun and the method of condensing true qi into illusions had already reached the limit. However, he was still stuck at the crucial step, unable to break through even after so long. For a moment, he could only sigh and stop cultivating the method of condensing true qi into illusions and the Sword of the Glorious Sun. Instead, he turned his attention to the 2 immortal techniques of casting beings into soldiers and reversing yin and yang. The magic arsenal was a kind of creation technique. It could be enchanted with some special spiritual objects and infused with true qi to turn them into battle soldiers. The strength of the battle soldiers was related to the cultivator's strength, the spiritual object's grade, and the cultivator's understanding of the immortal technique. The reversal of yin and yang was a technique that disturbed the flow of qi. For example, the top sects often had various tracing techniques. Some people could even use some strange treasures to capture the images left behind in the void to deduce what had happened. However, with the reversal of yin and yang, the flow of qi was completely disturbed. No matter how good the method was, it could no longer find any clues. It was said that when this immortal technique was cultivated to the pinnacle, not only could it disturb the flow of qi, it could also disturb space, interfere with the laws, and deceive the mysteries of heaven. Xing Hui concentrated his mind and soon immersed himself in the comprehension of these 2 immortal techniques, but the efficiency of the comprehension was somewhat unsatisfactory. A month later, Xing Hui, who had not yet comprehended some superficial knowledge, could not help but frown. At this rate, it would take at least a year or 2 to comprehend these 2 supreme immortal techniques to the point where they could be used at the initial stage. According to the description, these 2 supreme immortal techniques were actually relatively easy to learn. If the easy immortal techniques were like this, then what would the difficult immortal techniques be like? Don't forget, his perception had reached the 5th grade. Although he did not have any elders to guide him when he comprehended these immortal techniques, with his 5th grade perception, it would still take him a year or 2 to comprehend one immortal technique. What about others? No wonder there were many immortal techniques on the Fortune mainland, but most cultivators were already considered outstanding if they could master 1 or 2 immortal techniques. Even those proud sons of heaven who represented the future of their sex would only master 3 or 4 immortal techniques. Supreme immortal techniques are all comprehended from the Fortune Divine Jade. Moreover, it is said that the Fortune Divine Jade has immeasurable benefits for comprehending and cultivating immortal techniques. This is also the reason why so many proud sons of heaven compete for the right to comprehend the Fortune Divine Jade. Although the Fortune Divine Jade on my body is not in an activated state, but If I use this Fortune Divine Jade to comprehend immortal techniques, I wonder what kind of effect it will have. Xinghui thought and immediately put his idea into action. He directly injected the immortal art of the magic arsenal casting technique into the Fortune Divine Jade, and activated the power of the Fortune Divine Jade to deduce. As expected. As he used the Fortune Divine Jade to comprehend the immortal technique, the Fortune Divine Jade, which was connected to his spirit, immediately derived endless changes and projected them into his spiritual world. This caused his understanding of the magic arsenal technique to increase by leaps and bounds. In less than an incense stick's worth of time, a spark of inspiration flashed in Xinghui's mind. He immediately understood the magic arsenal technique and cultivated it. Success. A trace of pleasant surprise flashed in Xinghui's eyes. Sure enough, the Fortune Divine Jade really had the ability to help deduce immortal techniques. Moreover, the effect of the assistance was far beyond his imagination. After comprehending the magic arsenal technique, Xinghui was already able to use some second and third grade spiritual objects to create hundreds of spiritual weapons of the true qi boundary and spirit refining boundary. The duration was related to the spiritual qi contained in the spiritual objects. As for creating spirit qi unity boundary, green netherworld boundary, and prominent divine boundary experts, although Xinghui could barely do it, the requirements for spiritual objects had to be at least 6th grade, 8th grade, and 10th grade spiritual objects. The so-called spiritual objects usually referred to natural treasures with strong spirituality. Although a 10th grade natural treasure's value could not be compared to a 10th grade divine weapon, it had reached the level of a 9th grade divine weapon. Even if Xinghui bought it from the Milky Way Chamber of Commerce, he estimated that he would need 3 or 4 Tao ripples. If he wanted to create spirit qi unity boundary, green netherworld boundary, and prominent divine boundary spirit weapons at a lower price, he had cultivated the magic arsenal technique to the small success stage. Xinghui's eyes became slightly hot. This immortal art was truly extraordinary. If he could cultivate it to the initial success stage, he would be able to use rank 6 spiritual items to create rank 6 spiritual weapons. Even if these spiritual weapons did not possess any killing methods or weapons and were slightly inferior to a true prominent divine stage expert, they could still be considered as an extremely terrifying combat strength. Think about it. If hundreds of 6th grade spiritual weapons swarmed together, in the entire Eastern Wilderness, other than the Creation Mystical Sect and the Limitless Sword Sect, who could resist them? By then, he alone would be a great sage sect. As he thought about it, Xinghui could not wait to delve into the study of the magic arsenal technique. However, at that moment, the Creation Divine Jade's original divine light completely dimmed. The mysterious feeling of continuing to deduce the magic arsenal technique had also completely disappeared, causing Xinghui to frown. Looking at the dim Creation Divine Jade, Xinghui's heart skipped a beat as if he had thought of something. Could it be Tao ripples? However, he was worried again in the next second. Although he still had a few items that carried Tao, the Creation Divine Jade had already fused with his spiritual world. He did not know how to draw out the Tao ripples from these items and inject them into the Creation Divine Jade. I can only wait until tomorrow, Xinghui muttered to himself. At the same time, to prevent the Chaos Divine Jade from dropping to the 29th grade, because he could not absorb the Tao ripples from the Creation Divine Jade, he had to use 2 Tao ripples to replenish his Chaos Divine Palace interface. Next, he just had to wait quietly. However, the result of the wait made Xinghui feel a little apprehensive. Not 1 day, but 3 days. It was not until 3 days later that the Creation Divine Jade regained its luster. When he could use the Creation Divine Jade to continue comprehending the magic arsenal technique, it was 4 days later. Qingsu had no choice but to stop comprehending the soldiers of magic arsenal when he looked at the scant amount of treasures he had on him. Tao ripples. Chapter 308. A month later, Rockheart, Shenshua Wang Ke, and the elder of the Purple Cloud Palace, perfected cultivator Zaheo, arrived outside the array. As Rockheart controlled the array, a wave of energy spread out from the array, and reached the center of the array, where Tsing Hui was. This wave contained a strange power. It could awaken others from their closed-door cultivation, but it would not affect the cultivator, who was in closed-door cultivation. Is the Grand Creation Festival about to begin? Tsing Hui opened his eyes. He had been waiting for this moment for a long time. I wonder what kind of miraculous things will happen after I obtain that piece of Fortune Divine Jade and fuse it with the Fortune Divine Jade I have. Tsing Hui thought to himself. He dusted himself off, stood up, and walked out of the 6 blazing mystic fire array. Outside the array, seeing Tsing Hui step out of the fire, several people came up to him. Perfected cultivator Zaheo, who knew that Tsing Hui had cultivated the divine grade Golden Crow physique, smiled even more warmly than before. Dong Yang, you finally come out of seclusion. Congratulations on cultivating the Golden Crow physique. With this physique, as long as you don't encounter cultivators who can restrain you or cultivators who are good at defense, you'll be invincible among your peers in the prominent divine grade. Even us true energy realm old fellows don't dare to face the power of a divine grade battle physique head-on. You flatter me, Elder Zaheo. I'm just a prominent divine grade cultivator. How can I be compared to a saint-like perfected cultivator Zaheo? Tsing Hui said modestly. Haha. The power of a divine grade battle physique is so powerful that even saints of transcendent realm of saint second grade wouldn't dare to face it head-on, let alone saints of first grade. They would have to stall for time. So Elder Dong Yang, there's no need to belittle yourself. If nothing goes wrong, Elder Dong Yang will definitely be one of the top 10 in this Grand Creation Festival. Chen Shuo agreed with a smile. The other few people also had a look of deep agreement. Has the Grand Creation Festival begun? Tsing Hui turned to look at Sect Master Rockheart and Reverend Zaheo. The Fortune Grand Banquet will officially begin in 10 days. Since the Fortune Divine Jade is being kept by the Great Sun Divine Palace, the location of the banquet is the Great Sun Divine Palace's branch in the Central Plains, which is not far from here. On the day of the banquet, many sects experts and geniuses will rush over from all directions. This Fortune Grand Banquet is also the grandest banquet on the Fortune mainland. Tsing Hui nodded. When are we leaving? The Burning Heaven sect is 3 days away from the Great Sun Divine Palace. However, it's best if we arrive 2 or 3 days earlier, so that I can tell you who is a threat in this year's good fortune gathering. Thus, you cultivate for a few days, and we will officially depart 4 days later. All right. Immediately, Tsing Hui was led by Rockheart, Sage Zaheo, Chen Shuo, and the others into the Burning Sky sect. However, before they arrived at the Burning Sky sect's main hall, a majestic aura rolled over from the Holy Flame Cave's direction, pressing down on Tsing Hui. The aura was filled with provocation. Guest Elder Dong Yang, you haven't forgotten our agreement, right? Ling Shi's voice pierced through the air, reverberating in the open space. This is... Sage Zaheo looked at Rockheart with a trace of scrutiny in his eyes. Rockheart hurriedly explained the agreement between Ling Shi and Tsing Hui. In the end, she smiled wryly and said, I've already told Ling Shi not to be presumptuous in front of the sect's envoys. Who would have thought that she would still be so obstinate? Rest assured, Elder Zaheo, I will definitely punish her severely when the time comes, and let her understand the meaning of seniority. Sage Zaheo did not say anything. Instead, he turned to Tsing Hui and asked, Dong Yang, how do you think we should deal with this matter? Tsing Hui glanced at the calm Sage Zaheo. He vaguely understood that Sage Zaheo had already known that such an accident would happen. The reason why he did not stop him, and even asked him, was probably because he wanted to see the authenticity of the divine grade Golden Crow combat body with his own eyes. He did not want to waste a precious opportunity when the Fortune Grand Banquet arrived. Since I have an agreement with young Lord Ling Shi, I will fulfill it. As Tsing Hui spoke, his eyes fell on Ling Shi, who was descending from the void. Good. Elder Dong Yang is indeed worthy of being an envoy of the sect. You are a man of your word. This is not the place to fight. How about we go to the Heaven Abandonment Valley to fight? As the host, as the guest, Tsing Hui gestured with his hand. All right, since the two of you insist on fighting it out, we will not force you. However, Both of you are the pride of the Purple Cloud Palace. Any injuries will be a loss to the Purple Cloud Palace. Therefore, I hope that both of you will know when to stop. Sage Zaheo said solemnly. Of course. Don't worry, Elder. I know what to do. The two of them replied at the same time. Immediately, Reverend Zaheo, Rockheart, Chen Shua Wang Ke, and even the other two true energy elders of the Burning Sky sect walked out as well. They followed Qing Su and Ling Shi to the Heaven Abandonment Valley. With the 4 Saint Stage experts around, even if an accident happened, they would be able to set things right immediately. Soon the group arrived at the Heaven Abandonment Valley. The Heaven Abandonment Valley was a completely deserted valley filled with boiling lava. Not to mention mortals, even Immortality Realm experts would find it difficult to survive here if they did not have a high enough cultivation base. Fortunately, Chenshua, Rockheart, Zaheo, and Wang Ke were not weak. Otherwise, they would not even be qualified to watch the battle. What weapon do you use? Ling Shi looked at Xing Hui and stood on her sword. She had a serious expression on her face. Although blue netherworld realm experts could fly, their speed was much slower than flying on swords. Therefore, they usually stood on their swords when they fought in the air. When I obtained the Primal Chaos Inheritance, I obtained several divine weapons by chance. Young Sect Master Ling Shi, you can attack as much as you want. When I need to use these divine weapons, I will naturally use them. Xing Hui said calmly. Okay, then don't blame me. Ling Shi's expression turned cold. In the next moment, a flag flickering with raging flames appeared in her hand. It was the Burning Sky Sect's powerful secret treasure, the 6 flames flowing light flag. Because the Fortune mainland rarely traded with the Heaven Wasteland world, the quality of divine weapons was generally not high. Even a prominent Saint Stage expert of the 6 Supreme Sects could be considered rich if he possessed a 7th grade divine weapon. However, while they were lacking in divine weapons, they had all kinds of strange secret treasures. Some of these secret treasures were more terrifying than high-grade divine weapons. Be careful, my Nanming primordial fire is no joke. Ling Shi shouted. In the next moment, a phantom of a Baifeng appeared behind her. When the Baifeng appeared, it spread its wings and an endless blazing power swept out, forming a huge flame vortex that burned the void. A saint-grade battle physique, the Burning Sky Sect has a successor. Spiritual Master Zhao praised from the bottom of his heart as he looked at the battle constitution that Ling Shi had manifested. There was a trace of a smile on Rockheart's face. This girl has put in a lot of effort to condense a saint-grade battle physique. Now she has finally gotten what she wanted. Our Burning Sky Sect's support for her all these years has not been in vain. Spiritual Master Zaheo nodded, but his gaze shifted to Xing Hui. And Xing Hui. He did not disappoint Spiritual Master Zaheo. Ka. Accompanied by a long cry, the Golden Crow's sacred body suddenly appeared behind Xing Hui. A huge golden crow with a diameter of nearly 100 meters spread its wings and soared in the sky. Endless light and heat radiated from its body, almost blinding everyone. The moment the Golden Crow's sacred body appeared, the dense fire origin energy that was originally hovering above the Baifeng's sacred body quickly gathered toward the Golden Crow combat physique, as if it was meeting its king, causing the power of the Golden Crow combat physique to increase by another level. Good. A divine grade battle physique, as expected of a divine grade Golden Crow combat physique. Amazing, Dongyang is amazing. He can reach this level with just a chaos inheritance. He is a true peerless genius that only appears once in 1,000 years. Spiritual Master Zaheo could not help but be pleasantly surprised when he saw the Golden Crow combat physique that was emitting endless light like the sun rising from the east. The Golden Crow combat physique. Is this the Golden Crow combat physique? What a terrifying power. The Fire Crow bloodline that I cultivate is actually trembling in front of the Golden Crow combat physique. I can't even use 60% of my power. It is truly worthy of being called the Emperor of Fire, the Divine Beast of Fire. Ling Shi's Baifeng's sacred body is completely suppressed by Elder Dongyang's Golden Crow sacred body. When a fire-attributed saint-grade beast encounters a fire-attributed divine beast, it has already lost half of the battle. We can only pin our hopes on the 6 flame blacklight flag. The flag contains a trace of Nanming primordial fire. Only with this trace of Nanming primordial fire can Lingxi have a chance to turn the tables. Several prominent divine stage experts of the Burning Sky sect were also shocked. They were slightly pessimistic about the result of Lingxi's battle. Lingxi clearly understood that her Baifeng sacred body was suppressed by Tsinghui's Golden Crow sacred body. Fortunately, although a divine beast could suppress a saint-grade beast, this suppression was not strong enough to make people lose the hope of challenging it. As Lingxi shook the 6 flame black light flag in her hand, a blazing flame power was injected into the Baifeng sacred body. Suddenly, the Baifeng's shadow, which had weakened a little, suddenly soared. An even more terrifying and blazing aura swept out from its body. I will let the elders of the Purple Cloud Palace understand who is the real heaven's favored daughter of the Burning Sky sect. Fire of disaster. As Lingxi waved the flag in her hand, the Baifeng sacred body roared and exploded into blazing flames that spanned thousands of meters. Each flame was a miniature version of the Baifeng. The thousands of miniature Baifengs were like a dense meteor shower, crazily bombarding Tsinghui. The terrifying and mighty heat swept through the world, almost burning the void. What a treasure! Tsinghui glanced at the 6 flame black light flag in Lingxi's hand. It was impossible for the Baifeng sacred body to have such power. However, with the help of the 6 flame black light flag, the divine-grade combat body could erupt with power that was not inferior to a divine-grade combat body. But that was all. With a thought from Qing Su, the colossal figure of the Golden Crow had already rushed into the air in the next moment. Like a meteor shooting through space, it slammed into the meteor shower of countless miniature Baifengs viciously. Its colossal body and sharp claws grabbed several dozen miniature Baifengs viciously before smashing them together. In the moment the several dozen miniature Baifengs collided, the Golden Crow used a method that was almost eternal and resplendent, directly detonating the power within the miniature Baifengs through a fission reaction. Boom! Violent and continuous explosions resounded through the void in an instant. Countless small Baifengs were detonated at the same time. The explosions connected together and formed an even more terrifying chain of explosions. For a moment, dazzling flames kept rising. It was as if countless scorching suns had suddenly appeared in the void. All the colors in the world paled in comparison to this radiance. Chapter 309. The energy contained in the small Baifengs was collided and detonated by Tsinghui. Blazing flames filled the void, turning the area dozens of kilometers above heaven-abandoned valley into a purgatory of destruction. While constantly destroying these small Baifengs, Tsinghui's realm, which was only half a step away from the Sword of the Glorious Sun, was also constantly loosening in the process of fission. Countless inspirations began to surge into his mind. The Sword of the Glory of the Sun simulates the eruption of the sun, and uses a part of the power to strike out 3 times, 4 times, even 9 times or 10 times. Because the power contained in this strike is too terrifying, even Sword Master Bai Heng, who created the Sword of the Glory of the Sun, could not make this power precise to every detail. He could only blast it out. In this way, the power is great, but after this strike, it will completely exhaust one's real qi. Tsinghui freely shuttled back and forth under the bombardment of countless small Baifengs. Originally, he had enough power to tear apart the meteor-like attacks formed by countless small Baifengs. As he tore apart this circle of attacks, he could even use the Golden Crow battle form to directly attack Lingxi and use the true sun fire to burn her Baifeng sacred body to ashes in an instant, and further injure Lingxi. However, in the process of continuously detonating these small Baifengs, he faintly touched the opportunity to achieve the Sword of the Glorious Sun. He threw the thought of winning the battle to the back of his mind, and constantly comprehended the Sword of the Glorious Sun, which was only one step away from achieving the Sword of the Glorious Sun. Even so, the sight of Qing Su's Golden Crow battle form rampaging through the countless miniature Baifengs created from the Baifeng battle form still shocked everyone from the Burning Sky sect and Purple Cloud Palace, from the bottom of their hearts. Is this the terror of the Golden Crow battle form? After being strengthened by the 6 flame black light flag, the Baifeng sacred body, is not much inferior to an ordinary divine-grade battle form, but it can't do anything to Master Dong Yang's Golden Crow battle form. The Baifeng sacred body is obviously on the verge of defeat, and is suppressed to the point that it has no chance to breathe. No matter how many small Baifengs it creates, it can't escape the fate of being caught and destroyed by the Golden Crow battle form. It would be fine if the Golden Crow battle form simply caught those small Baifengs and destroyed them. I don't know what means Elder Dongyang used, but when those small Baifengs collided with each other, they caused an explosion that far exceeded the limit of their strength. It also caused a large-scale explosion, so a large area would explode. Without this means, Ling Shi might be able to entangle the Golden Crow battle form with the power of the 6 flame black light flag, and exhaust all the power of the Golden Crow battle form. She might even be able to win in the end, but now, it's not that Ling Shi's Baifeng sacred body is too weak. With the combat strength that Ling Shi has shown this time, she might have a chance to compete for the qualification to comprehend the Fortune Jade if she participates in the Creation Grand Gathering. However, compared to Elder Dongyang, she is still inferior. Elder Dongyang's Golden Crow battle form is too strong. The explosive power formed by constantly destroying the small Baifengs frightened even me, a saint cultivator. If I were to be caught in the center of that explosive power without using the fire-repelling pearl, I would be seriously injured, even if I didn't die. Spiritual Master Zaheo, Elder Chen Shua, and the other 2 true element realm ancestors of the Burning Sky sect were all amazed. At the same time, they felt that each new generation was surpassing the previous one. There was not much difference between the prominent divine stage and the true element realm. In the true element realm, genuine qi could be transformed into true essence at best, which could support the battle form for a longer time. If the consumption of genuine qi was ignored, the prominent divine stage and the true element realm could even be regarded as the same stage. In this case, Xing Hui and Ling Shi, one with a divine-grade battle form and the other with a saint-grade battle form, had a strong impact on them. Sun glory, sun glory, sun glory. All kinds of ideas flashed in Xing Hui's mind as he tried to understand the real mystery of the Sword of the Sun Glory. The Sword of the Sun Glory was a terrifying attack produced by the continuous fission of energy. As long as he could understand the mystery of fission, the Sword of the Sun Glory would definitely be able to break through to the advanced level. Wait a minute. Fission. Just as Xing Hui faintly felt that his genuine qi was being consumed rapidly, and that his Golden Crow battle form was about to be unable to maintain, a light suddenly flashed in his mind. Fission. The Sword of the Sun Glory was created by simulating the fission of the sun. If he could master fission and understand the mystery of fission, his Sword of the Sun Glory would be able to reach the advanced level. However, the real explosion of the sun was not fission, but fusion. Compared to fission, fusion produced a greater effect in power, which could be seen from the power of atomic bombs and hydrogen bombs on Earth. Fission created an atomic bomb, while fusion created a hydrogen bomb that could be said to be a world-destroying weapon. In particular, there was controllable nuclear fusion above fusion. If the power of controllable nuclear fusion could be perfectly utilized, the fusion power would constantly generate a chain reaction that would never end. The power that could be unleashed in the end would be many times stronger than a fission attack. Mastering controllable nuclear fusion was equivalent to mastering the power of the artificial sun. If Xing Hui could understand the mystery of it, he might be able to transform into the real Golden Crow, which would allow him to dominate the divine stage. Wrong. Sword Master Bai Heng was wrong. Sword Master Bai Heng's Sword of the Glorious Sun is dedicated to simulating the explosion of the sun to form a world-destroying blow, thus creating this kind of Sword of the Glorious Sun through fission. However, the real sun is formed by a continuous fusion reaction. Sword Master Bai Heng simulates the fusion of the sun in the form of energy fission. No wonder no matter how she perfected the Sword of the Glorious Sun, this Sword of the Glorious Sun can only be regarded as a secret technique, which only has the power of one blow, and cannot be called a systematic cultivation method. Haha, fission, fusion, controllable fusion. That's the path I need to take next. That's the direction of cultivation in the Saint Realm. If I even get the direction wrong, then how can I cultivate an invincible cultivation technique? How can I create a sword technique that's capable of destroying the world? Xing Hui let out a long cry, and the golden crow shadow immediately let out a loud cry. Countless small bifangs exploded before they could even get close to its body. With a boom, waves of flames rose continuously in the void like mushroom clouds, tearing all the clouds within a radius of dozens of kilometers into pieces. Fission. Disregarding the fission that simulated the elements of the sun. At this moment, countless memories that had been sealed for a long time emerged in Xing Hui's mind. The information about fission that he had learned from textbooks, the internet, the news, and military books on Earth crazily gathered in his mind. Furthermore, under the high level of comprehension of the fifth step, it merged with his understanding of the Golden Crow battle body and the Golden Crow Jinqi. When an atomic nucleus with a large mass splits into two atomic nuclei with a small mass, an enormous amount of energy will be released during this process. This was fission. It was simple and clear at a glance. In the next moment, countless pieces of information gathered and summarized, colliding into an earth-shattering spark of inspiration. This spark of inspiration was like a real atomic bomb exploding in Xing Hui's mind. In the center of his mind, a mushroom cloud rose up like a pillar supporting the sky. A circular wave of air tore through the clouds and swept across the area. Intense vibrations, light, and heat filled the entire mind. Brilliant sun. Following Xing Hui's involuntary attack, the void that was originally filled with a chain of explosions suddenly surged with an unprecedented berserk power. This power was so strong that it directly broke the limits of the Saint Realm's understanding of the power of a prominent Saint Realm expert. In an instant, the void within a radius of tens of kilometers was completely submerged. Endless light and heat erupted at the same time. Not good. This is... Careful. The various Saint Realm elders who were originally watching the battle from the side, and were shocked by the power between Xing Hui and Ling, she sensed the terrifying power that erupted from Xing Hui's hand. They were immediately shocked and revealed their saint physique, charging towards Ling Shi as fast as they could. Flame fan. Fire warding bead. Open for me. All kinds of strange treasures appeared in the hands of the various true energy boundary elders, trying in vain to resist the explosive power or divert it into the void. However, true energy boundary elders did not have any advantage in front of prominent Saint Realm experts. It was just that their Zhenqi was more vigorous and their strength was longer. In front of Xing Hui's brilliant sun sword that had just reached the great success stage, they were simply unable to resist it. The flame fan only managed to divert the blazing destructive power for a moment before the surging heat sent them flying. The elder with the fire-warding bead shuttled back and forth in the flames for a moment, before he was immediately sent flying by the shock wave. As for the remaining two true energy boundary elders, they were not much better off. However, the efforts of the four true energy boundary powerhouses were not in vain. They had finally managed to bring Ling Shi out of the area of destruction before the destructive force could completely engulf her, allowing her to escape with the fastest speed possible, allowing her to escape with her life. Rumble. The energy ripples formed by the explosive power spread out in all directions. The heaven-abandoned valley, which was filled with flames and lava, was completely destroyed. An even more violent eruption of lava seemed to have caused the earth veins to become chaotic. Rumbling earthquakes spread out with the heaven-abandoned valley as the center, affecting the entire burning heaven sect. In an instant, countless porcelain and glass products in the burning heaven sect were destroyed. This kind of power is too terrifying. A transcendent realm expert's control over their own power has reached the pinnacle. They can condense their own power into one and pour it out in torrents. The power of this attack is probably not much inferior to a transcendent realm expert's all-out attack, right? Is the power of a divine grade battle physique really so powerful? If I was in the center of that explosive power, even with the fire-warding bead, my chances of survival would be less than 1 in 10. Is this still the prominent Saint Realm? The true energy boundary elders were dumbfounded as they looked at the destructive power of Xing Hui's attack. They were unable to recover for a long time. As for Ling Shi, who had the courage to challenge Xing Hui, she was so frightened by the destructive power of this attack that her pretty face turned pale. She looked at Xing Hui as if she was looking at a demon. Her eyes were filled with fear as her hands and feet trembled incessantly. A genius with a boundless future, she was scared out of her wits. Chapter 310. Sun Glory. Xing Hui's eyes flickered. Then he saw the mess in heaven-abandoned valley. Even though he had seen the mess caused by a nuclear explosion in movies, he still could not help but change his expression. Ling Shi is not dead, is she? Qing Su raised his head and looked over. When he saw Ling Shi looking at him with a frightened expression from over 10 kilometers away, he breathed a sigh of relief. It was good that he didn't die. If he died, he really didn't know how to face the people of the Burning Sky sect. After all, the Burning Sky sect's sect master and elders were quite good to him. However, because he didn't restrain his strength during a spar, he killed the young sect master, whom they had high hopes for. That would be embarrassing. Whoosh! With a leap, Qing Su arrived beside Rockheart, Chen Shua, Reverend Zaheo, and so on very soon. I'm sorry. I had just comprehended the innate ability of the Golden Crow battle body, so I used it involuntarily. As a result, I failed to control my strength properly, which almost led to a disaster. Thank goodness you elders acted in time. It's all right. If you want to blame someone, you can only blame Lingxi for overestimating herself. How dare she challenge the authority of Elder Dong Yang? Today's incident will teach her a lesson, and let her understand that there is always someone better out there. Rockheart naturally did not dare to accuse Qing Su of anything in front of Reverend Zaheo. Moreover, it was just as she had said. Lingxi had brought this upon herself. If she had not gone to provoke Dong Yang, she would not have almost died. Haha. Elder Dong Yang's Golden Crow combat body is so powerful that it is an eye-opener for us. No wonder a divine-grade combat body only appears once in 1,000 years. If such powerful strength can be cultivated so easily, how can we true energy realm cultivators endure? Based on the strength that Elder Dong Yang displayed in the battle just now, one of the spots to comprehend the Fortune Divine Jade at the Fortune Grand Banquet is likely to be yours. Let's just wait for Elder Dong Yang to represent the Burning Sky sect and display his might at the Fortune Grand Banquet. Spiritual Master Zaheo said with a smile. I will do my best and will not disappoint the sect master, the palace master, and the elders of the Purple Cloud Palace. We look forward to seeing your performance. Reverend Zaheo smiled. Dong Yang, the good fortune pageant is about to begin. You should rest for a day or two. When the time comes, we will set off for the Great Sun Divine Palace. Because you are representing the Burning Sky sect, it is inappropriate for me and the Palace Lord to travel with you. When the time comes, you can go with Sect Master Hartcliffe. If there is anything, just send Wang Ke to find me. I understand. All right. Then, we'll catch up after the Grand Creation Banquet is over. Xing Hui nodded slightly. Who knew what would happen after the fortune pageant ended? Sect Master Hartcliffe, I'll leave Elder Dong Yang in your care. I hope you can keep him in good condition during the Fortune Fest. Don't let anything happen to him. Reverend Zaheo turned to Rockheart and instructed him in a serious tone. Don't worry, Taoist. The Fortune Banquet this time isn't just crucial to the Purple Cloud Palace. It's also a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for our Burning Heaven sect. If our Burning Heaven sect can make an appearance at the Fortune Banquet this time and obtain one of the 10 right to comprehend the Fortune Jade, it'll be much easier for our Burning Heaven sect to recruit Sons of Chaos in the future. Just based on that, we'll definitely ensure Elder Dong Yang's safety. Before Hartcliffe could speak, Chen Shua, the Burning Sky sect's ancestor, had already made a solemn vow. Alright, I naturally trust the Burning Sky sect. After Reverend Zaheo finished his words, he did not stay any longer and immediately turned to leave. Hartcliffe and the others brought Xing Hui back to the Burning Sky sect. After resting for a day, the Burning Sky sect piloted a warship and headed straight for the Great Sun Divine Palace. In order to ensure Tsing Hui's safety, 2 of the Burning Sky sect's 3 true energy boundary ancestors moved out at the same time. Apart from leaving one person to guard the sect as a precaution, it could be said that they had turned out in full force. As for the prominent divine stage Great Elders, they had also sent most of them. Apart from the true energy boundary ancestors and the Great Elders, Ling Shi was also in the group. In Heartcliff's words, they were bringing her to the fortune gathering to broaden her horizons. Ling Shi was only 81 years old this year. If the next fortune gathering was to be held within 19 years, she might have the opportunity to participate again. In this way, the experience of this fortune gathering would be extremely important. The warship broke through the clouds as it slowly advanced towards the Great Sun Divine Palace. Because the Fortune Grand Banquet was one of the biggest banquets on the Fortune mainland, when the Burning Sky sect's battleships neared the Great Sun Divine Palace, the surrounding atmosphere became livelier. When the Burning Sky sect's battleships arrived at the Great Sun Divine Palace, they saw large battleships shuttling to and fro around the Great Sun Divine Palace's skyscrapers, entering the Great Sun Divine Palace's interior. Even though the Fortune mainland's style belonged to fantasy, the scene in front of them gave Qing Su a strong feeling of science fiction. The Great Sun Divine Palace was like a bustling starry port. Countless warships from all over the universe were shuttling back and forth, carrying out daily necessities. Unlike the Purple Firmament Palace, the forces that the Great Sun Divine Palace left behind in the Central Plains aren't weak. It's said that they have a third-layer Saint Realm expert with endless true energy personally overseeing the situation. Moreover, as the Great Sun Divine Palace is the host of the Grand Assembly of Good Fortune this time around, the headquarters of the Great Sun Divine Palace has sent many experts. According to preliminary estimates, there are probably several tens of Endless Realm experts, and it's enough to completely surround the Great Sun Divine Palace. Heartcliff looked at the bustling Great Sun Divine Palace in front of him and praised sincerely. Several dozen? When Tsing Hui heard the number from Heartcliff's mouth, he couldn't help but be stunned. There are actually so many Endless Realm experts in the Great Sun Divine Palace? If I remember correctly, the Purple Firmament Palace only has 10 to 20 Transformative Realm experts. The Endless Realm is different from the Transformative Realm. The Supreme Sects have the method to refine the Golden Immortal Pill. As long as there is enough True Yuan to maintain the Golden Immortal Pill, it can extend one's lifespan for 3,000 years. However, although True Yuan and Transformative Realm experts have True Yuan in their bodies, they are unable to sustain the consumption of the Golden Immortal Pill. Unless there are many heavenly treasures in their bodies, they can only extend their lifespan by 3,000 years. Otherwise, when they reach the age of 400 or 500, they will be unable to avoid the fate of dying. However, Endless Realm experts are different. The True Yuan in their bodies has already reached the point where it can circulate endlessly. As long as they engage in an intense battle and expend a large amount of True Yuan, they can maintain the existence of the Golden Immortal Pill, extending their lifespan to 3,000 years. After listening to Heartcliff's introduction, Tsing Hui felt as if his horizons had been broadened. The Fortune mainland's fake Golden Immortal Pill technique might not be comparable to the Golden Immortal Pill, but as long as there were enough heavenly treasures, it could actually allow True Yuan, Transformative Realm, and Endless Realm experts to break through the limits of their lifespan. True Yuan, Transformative Realm, and Endless Realm experts who could only live for 400 to 500 years could live for 2,000 to 3,000 years. The value of such a secret technique was not necessarily inferior to that of some first-class divine scriptures. After all, to the descendants of those almighty existences, top-tier natural treasures that could replenish their origin energy were nothing. In fact, as long as the high-grade Sons of Chaos raised their recovery ability to the 6th or 7th order, their origin energy might not necessarily be unable to replenish their origin energy without end. As the battleship sailed into the Great Sun Divine Palace, Tsing Hui finally understood the true foundation of the Fortune mainland. Even though the Fortune mainland was many times more remote than the Eastern Wasteland, and the Heaven-Earth Yuan Qi on the mainland was less than half of the eastern wasteland. The Fortune mainland had relied on the numerous immortal techniques comprehended from the Fortune Divine Jade to develop to the level of a peak mid-sized mainland. This was because the Fortune Divine Jade had only appeared for a few thousand years. If it continued to develop, in another few thousand years or even 10,000 years, the Fortune mainland had the hope of developing into a large mainland with more than 10 supreme existences overseeing it. At that time, no matter how remote the Fortune mainland was and how few sons of chaos there were, it would still attract the attention of many supreme existences in the Heaven Wasteland world. Fortunately, all the Tao treasures produced in the Fortune mainland have been squandered on the Fortune Divine Jade. Otherwise, even though the Fortune mainland and Heaven Wasteland world are so far apart, the number and power of the Sons of Chaos wouldn't have remained so low. Moreover, the more the Sons of Chaos increase, the more active they become in the Chaos Divine Palace. Naturally, the secrets of the Fortune mainland would be easily leaked. If a supreme existence became curious and directly teleported to the Fortune mainland, the people of the Fortune mainland might not be able to keep the Fortune Divine Jade. Xing Hui secretly rejoiced in his heart. Under the lead of a prominent sage realm expert of the Great Sun Divine Palace, the Burning Sky Sect's people were arranged to stay in a small courtyard. Even though the Burning Sky Sect was a first-rate sect, because it was completely supported by the Purple Firmament Palace, it was in existence at the bottom of the first-rate sections. This could be seen from the fact that they only had 3 true element boundary experts in their sect. Therefore, the Great Sun Divine Palace naturally only made arrangements for them. This scene made Sect Master Rockheart feel extremely embarrassed. As for Xing Hui, he didn't have any thoughts about it. He would leave after snatching the Fortune Divine Jade. In order to prevent people from discovering his identity in the Chaos Divine Palace, he was more than willing to keep a low profile. Elder Dongyang, this is the information that the Palace Master asked me to send to you. Early the next morning, Wang Ke, Rockheart, and the others appeared in Xing Hui's courtyard and handed him a set of detailed information. This is the information that the Palace Master gathered from the Purple Firmament Palace's intelligence network. Among the 100 competitors, 8 of them are true element boundary experts. 8 huh? Xing Hui nodded slightly when he heard this. He didn't take it too seriously. Among the 8 true element boundary experts, 6 of them represent the 6 Supreme Saint sects. There's no doubt that the 6 of them will occupy the top 6 positions. Elder Dongyang, you have to pay attention to the remaining 2 true element boundary experts. One of the 2 true element boundary experts relied on natural treasures to reach the initial true element boundary, so he's less of a threat. As for the other one, before Wang Ke finished his introduction, Xing Hui seemed to have thought of something and suddenly asked, "By the way, the Fortune Divine Jade's activated state will last for 3 months. What's the order of comprehension during these 3 months? Do we start from the first place or the 10th place?" Naturally, we start from the first place. The first place will comprehend for a month. The second place will comprehend for half a month. The third place will comprehend for 10 days. And the remaining 4 to 10 will comprehend for 5 days according to their ranking. That's a total of 3 months. Wang Ke said. Wang Ke's words made Xing Hui's heart skip a beat. The Fortune Divine Jade required 1,000 Taoist rhymes to activate. If he won the first place, and was the first to comprehend the Fortune Divine Jade, and absorbed all the Taoist rhymes the moment he obtained it, would he be able to obtain more than 900 Taoist rhymes in one go? If this method worked, that would be a total of 9 chaotic grades. When he thought of this, Xing Hui, who had only planned to go through the motions and get into the top 10 to comprehend the Fortune Divine Jade, began to feel restless. Chapter 311. Get first place. Get first place. Be the first to come into contact with the Fortune Jade. Then leave with the Fortune Jade. Xing Hui made up his mind. Elder Dongyang, this is the information we collected about the cultivators who are a threat to those 4 positions. There are a total of 23 people. These 23 people may be a threat to you and compete with you for the 7th and 10th place to comprehend the Fortune Jade. Wang Ke said as he passed the detailed information to Xing Hui. Xing Hui received the information and flipped through it one by one. Soon, Xing Hui noticed something, and his brows furrowed slightly. These people's cultivation was the same as his in the prominent sage realm, but not all of them were at the peak of the prominent sage realm. On the contrary, the majority of them were in the mid and early prominent sage realm. And the reason why they were included in the list was because of the immortal arts and secret treasures they possessed. It could be said that by relying on these immortal arts and secret treasures, their battle strength could only be considered below average, but they had actually become a hot existence in the competition for the top 10 spots. Moreover, after looking at the information for a while, Xing Hui quickly realized a problem. Why is there no indication of their chaos realm in the information? One must know that a high-level son of chaos's divine arts can often turn the tide of a battle at a critical moment. High-level son of chaos? Wang Ke was slightly taken aback, and Rockhart and the others beside him also looked at each other. After a while, Rockhart explained, although raising one's chaos realm can increase one's strength, instead of using the time to raise one's chaos realm, it's better to fight for the opportunity to comprehend the fortune jade, or exchange one's Tao treasure for the right to cultivate one or two supreme immortal arts. Some immortal arts, if mastered well, are much more useful than raising one's chaos realm. Therefore, other than those who have comprehended enough supreme immortal arts, or sons of chaos, who are not qualified to participate in the fortune banquet, most people wouldn't use their Tao treasure to raise their chaos realm. Xing Hui was astonished by Rockhart's explanation. In the eyes of the Fortune Mainland's people, the immortal arts comprehended from the Fortune Jade were actually more useful than the Chaos Realm. But a moment later, Xing Hui thought of the supreme immortal technique he had just comprehended, Magic Arsenal. At the minor completion stage of the Magic Arsenal casting technique, he would be able to transform the spirituality of 16th order spiritual objects. If he could reach the major completion stage, he would even be able to transform the spirituality of 9th order spiritual objects, as long as he had enough true qi. Based on the average cultivation level of the Fortune continent, the major completion stage of the Magic Arsenal casting technique seemed to be more useful than the Sons of Chaos who were only in the 20s. After all, the Chaos level could grant one many special abilities, but there were not many abilities that could significantly increase one's strength. Especially the Incarnation technique and Transmission technique, they were practically useless to the people of Fortune Mainland. When the Avatar technique descended on Heaven Wasteland, the consequence of their weakened state was enough to make them wish they were dead. As for the prerequisite of the teleportation technique, it was necessary to teleport to a place that they had been to before. If they wanted to go to Heaven Wasteland World, they had to first descend to Heaven Wasteland World using the Avatar technique. This made the teleportation technique almost an unsolvable knot. Under such circumstances, the Fortune Mainland's people were naturally not very enthusiastic about the Chaos Realm. According to Wang Ke, there were less than 10 high-level Sons of Chaos in the entire Fortune Mainland. Moreover, these 10 people were basically the experts of the older generation. It was almost impossible to see high-level Sons of Chaos appearing in the Fortune Mainland's Grand Assembly. It seems that the divine art may be able to turn the tables for me at a critical moment. Unfortunately, the duration of the divine art is too short. Otherwise, it wouldn't be as simple as just one round. Xing Hui was faintly regretful. Under Wang Ke's introduction, Qing Su gained a clear understanding of the various immortal arts and arcane treasures these 23 powerful competitors possessed very soon. It had to be said that the battle strength of cultivators in this world with and without magic artifacts was completely incomparable. Take Ling Shi for example. Before she used the Six Flames Profound Flag, Xing Hui could completely crush her with the Golden Crow battle physique. However, after using the Six Flames Profound Flag, she was able to exchange blows with Xing Hui. If Xing Hui had not comprehended the Sword of the Glorious Sun during the battle, and summoned that earth-shattering sword move, he might not have been able to defeat her so easily. Elder Dongyang, among these 23 people, the ones you really need to be careful of are these 3 people: Ling Huyu, Hongbai, and Chengyi. These three people all possess fire-resistant magic artifacts, especially Chengyi. The profound fire control flag in his hand is a top fire-controlling magic artifact. When you fight with him, you'd better not give him time to summon his magic artifact. Use your fastest speed to defeat him in one fell swoop. I understand. Xinghui nodded. Of course, in this competition, in fact, in addition to strength, luck is also very important. After the first round of competition, 50 people will be selected. In the second round, 25 people will be left. In the third round, one person will be lucky enough to advance directly. At that time, there will only be 13 people left. One of these 13 people will be lucky enough to advance directly and enter the top 10 with the 6 winners. The defeated cultivators will compete again to compete for the top 10 places. When the top 10 places are determined, the ranking challenge will begin. The cultivators can occupy a ranking according to their strength and accept the challenges of others. The first place has to face 9 challenges or defeat 9 other people. The second place has to defeat 8 others, and so on. Wang Ke said with a smile. In fact, it's mainly a competition for the top 3 places. The rewards for the last 7 places are similar. Everyone can basically guarantee peace. It's just a competition for reputation. Won't the first place fall into a tag team battle? Of course, since you want to occupy the first place, you naturally have to pay the price. However, for the sake of fairness, the first place can apply for a day's rest after each battle. Xinghui listened and nodded thoughtfully. It seemed that the first place was not so easy to obtain. The cultivators of the 6 supreme sects are all considered seeded contestants. They won't encounter each other before the top 10. This is the privilege of the 6 supreme sects, but the others don't have this convenience. If you are unlucky enough to encounter the seeded contestants of the 6 supreme sects in the first round, then you can only pin your hopes on standing out in the losers group and competing for the remaining 3 places. You will encounter such a probability, and you will also encounter Ling Huyu, Hongbai, and Chengyi who are more of a threat to you. This is also why I said that luck is also very important. If you are lucky, you can completely avoid Ling Huyu, Hongbai, and Chengyi. If you are extremely lucky and get a bye in the 3rd and 4th round, then your chances are equivalent to entering the top 10. When Wang Ke said this, a smile appeared on his face. According to the ancestors of the 6 supreme sects, luck and opportunity are also a kind of strength. If the founding ancestor of the Purple Cloud Palace didn't obtain the fortune jade by chance, how could he have created a supreme sect like the Purple Cloud Palace out of nothing? If the Great Sun Divine Palace didn't comprehend the supreme immortal technique, 10 heaven-burning suns, from the fortune sacred jade, how could they push the Great Sun Divine Palace, which was originally a first-rate sect, into the ranks of the 6 supreme sects? Since there is such a high probability of encountering the seeded contestants of the 6 supreme sects, why don't Deacon Wang Ke tell me about the strength and characteristics of the seeded contestants of the 6 supreme sects? This is fine. Wang Ke hesitated for a moment, but still said, the foundation of the 6 supreme sects far surpasses that of the first-rate sections. Therefore, the seeded contestants of these forces have not only cultivated to the realm of true essence, but also mastered immortal techniques and secret treasures that the first-rate sects can't compare to. Among the 6 supreme sects, the most promising contestants are Lu Taihua of the Great Sun Divine Palace, Dao Wuya of the 3 Pristine sect, and Nantian Do of the Taisher sect. The magic treasure of these 3 people is a flame sword, which has the power to divide and control fire. As for the immortal technique, it is naturally 10 heaven-burning suns. With this immortal technique, he can create 10 great suns, and with the enhancement of the flame sword, its power is strong enough to make a transcendent expert look askance. Dao Wuya's magic treasure is a 3 treasure scepter, which seems to have the ability to attack from a distance. In addition, the supreme immortal technique he cultivates is called Yi Qi San Qing, which can be divided into 3, and its battle strength is shocking. As for Nantian Do, his magic treasure is the Star Pearl, which contains the power of a star and is extremely heavy. Ordinary mountains and rivers would be turned into dust if smashed by his Star Pearl. Are there no outstanding disciples in our Purple Cloud Palace this year? Well, it's not that we don't have any. It's just that they're not as outstanding as the Sanqing sect, Taisher sect, or Great Sun Divine Palace. Wang Ke replied awkwardly. Xing Hui could tell that Wang Ke was just trying not to undermine his own sect's prestige. Xing Hui then carefully studied the information of the seed disciples of the Purple Cloud Palace and the other two supreme sections. He quickly understood the strengths and weaknesses of these 6 people. If it was purely a competition of strength, he might be able to take first place with the power of the Golden Crow battle form and the Sword of the Glorious Sun. However, each of these people had supreme immortal skills and many secret treasures. This made Xing Hui very cautious. Sacrificial fire of the road, heaven-burning 10 suns, boundless Tao, 3 pure ones in one breath, shifting stars of the southern sky dipper. Xing Hui carefully looked through the information of the 3 cultivators who posed the greatest threat to him. A plan to deal with them gradually formed in his mind. 3 days passed in the blink of an eye. After 3 days, the Fortune Grand Banquet finally arrived. The Burning Sky sect was led by Yin Xian, and they directly arrived at the venue of the Fortune Grand Banquet. This was a large venue made up of more than 20 mountain peaks. Every mountain peak was packed with cultivators. At first glance, there were no less than 10,000 people. The total number of cultivators on the 20 mountain peaks was more than 200,000. The 20 mountain peaks were either near or far, high or low. They filled the area of 10 kilometers. In the center of these mountain peaks, there was a huge mountain peak that was more than 1,000 meters in diameter. It was used as a competition platform. The platform was reinforced by a formation and became extremely hard. Even if a divine Qi uniting realm expert wielding a grade 4 divine weapon, he wouldn't be able to leave a mark on the platform. Soon, all of the Fortune Mainland's geniuses would gather on this stage, under the witness of the 6 supreme sects, as well as numerous first- and second-rate sections. The top 10 most outstanding young masters would be sent to comprehend the Fortune Jade, enjoying endless glory and glory. Chapter 312. They're finally here. Qing Su stood on one of the mountains and gazed at the surroundings from the top. A gleam of light flashed through his eyes. He had been on the Fortune Mainland for a whole year. In this 1 year, his transmission technique had cooled down, and he could return to the Eastern Wasteland at any time. It was because of this piece of Fortune Jade that he had been delayed until now. Fortunately, it was finally time to put the Fortune Divine Jade into his bag. Elder Dongyang, don't feel pressured during the competition later. Given your strength, as long as you perform normally and are lucky enough to meet the seeded contestants of the 6 supreme sects, the probability of you making it into the top 10 is more than 90%. Moreover, even if you unfortunately meet the seeded contestants of the 6 supreme sects and lose, it doesn't matter. The losers will still be able to determine 3 places in the losers group and occupy the 8th, 9th, and 10th places. By then, they will be able to comprehend the Fortune Jade. Wang Ke encouraged Xing Hui from the side. Xing Hui nodded. Don't worry, I know what I'm doing. I won't disappoint the Purple Firmament Palace's elders. Good, you should adjust your condition. The Fortune Mainland Grand Assembly is about to begin. When those people go up on stage, I'll introduce them to you one by one. Wang Ke said and did not say anything else. Qing Su didn't say anything either. Instead, he looked at the surroundings. Compared to the situation in the Eastern Wasteland where the 9 great sects had formed an alliance to resist the Creation Mystical sect, the situation in the Fortune Mainland was basically peaceful. Even if there were conflicts between the 6 great supreme sects, they were basically carried out in the dark. The war on the surface could be traced back to 3,000 years ago. Therefore, many great sects and first-rate sects were able to safely hold such a grand event that swept across the entire mainland. If this happened in the Eastern Wasteland, the 10 great sects would have already started a war. Even if they didn't, such a grand assembly would have developed into some kind of shocking conspiracy. In the end, a war would still be inevitable. The Fortune Mainland has been in a state of rapid development for a long time. The number and scale of cultivators here is really not something the Eastern Wasteland can compare to. Xing Hui looked at the cultivators around him and sighed with emotion. Amongst the over 200,000 cultivators present here, there were absolutely over 1,000 at the Saint Realm, and the remaining were basically at the Spirit Energy Unification Realm, Green Hell Realm, and Vision Saint Realm. Although the Fortune Mainland did not have an almighty master overseeing it, the number of Saint Realm experts it had was not inferior to those mainlands that had an almighty master overseeing them. At the very least, their development had reached the pinnacle of the mid-sized mainlands. Among the thousands of islands in the world, it was unlikely that there would be any Saint Realm experts from a mid-sized mainland that could reach the level of the Fortune Mainland. The people from the 6 supreme sects are here. Just as Xing Hui was sizing up the cultivators around him, Wang Ke suddenly reminded him. Then, the 6 battleships broke through the wind and waves, sweeping up clouds and clouds, heading straight for the 6 highest mountains among the 20 or so mountains. These battleships docked securely, and several figures jumped out from these battleships. Every one of these figures exuded an extremely powerful aura. Even if they were transcendent realm experts who could control their aura at will, they did not hold back at all as they released their aura, intimidating the surroundings. Qing Su sensed them one by one and counted them. Transformative realm experts. 24 from the Great Sun Divine Palace, 20 from the Purple Cloud Palace, 22 from the Three Purities Sect, 23 from the Grand Beginning Sect, 19 from the Netherworld Sect, 26 from the Heavenly Court actually came? Didn't the Heavenly Court also fail to cultivate any outstanding disciples this time? If it's just a formality, why are there so many transcendent realm experts here? Unable to find an answer, Xing Hui could only hide this trace of doubt in his heart. As the 6 supreme sects people returned to their seats, the originally lively Fortune Mainland Grand Banquet gradually quieted down. Then, a man exuding a powerful aura stepped onto the central stage. It was the Great Sun Divine Palace's Palace Lord, Xingji. Xingji stepped onto the stage and gave an opening speech. During this time, Xing Hui asked Wang Ke, "How long will the Fortune Mainland Grand Banquet last?" This depends on whether there is anyone who can suppress the crowd and sit firmly in the top 3. After all, the top 3 rankings are disputed, but it usually lasts for half a month. As Wang Ke spoke, he seemed to have thought of something and reminded, although there are many sects and forces participating in the Fortune Mainland Grand Banquet, as time passes, when the top 10 are determined, more than 90% of the sects will miss the opportunity to comprehend the Fortune Jade. At that time, they will hold a large-scale trade fair in the square outside the Great Sun Divine Palace. Of course, the level of the trade fair will not be too high, and is limited to the immortality realm. Occasionally, there will be true energy realm experts and even transcendent realm experts participating. The items that can be traded are limited to the immortality realm, and the items of the green darkness realm and prominent divine realm are the most popular. As for what good items can be bought, it depends on one's luck. Oh, I wonder what currency is used for trading in the trade fair? Is it possible to buy supreme immortal skills? Supreme immortal skills? Wang Ke was shocked. Supreme immortal skills are usually in the hands of many supreme sections. Although almost no one in the 6 supreme sects can fully cultivate the supreme immortal skills, there are still very few of them that have been passed down. At this point, he paused slightly and lowered his voice slightly. If you want to obtain a supreme immortal skill through a formal trade, you can only rely on luck. However, after a few rounds of elimination, before the competition for the top 10 begins, there will be a private trade. In this trade, you may be able to obtain a supreme immortal skill. However, this private trade is only semi-public. It is not easy to obtain the right to enter. If Elder Dongyang is really interested, you can ask the Palace Lord when the time comes. The Palace Lord may be able to obtain the right to enter. Private trade. Xing Hui nodded when he heard this. He was about to return to the Heaven Wasteland domain, but because he had stayed in the Purple Cloud Palace for too short a time, he had not made any great contributions. He could not cultivate those mysterious immortal skills, which made him itch unbearably. If he could obtain a few good supreme immortal skills through this private trade, then this 1 year in the Fortune continent would really be worth it. If he was lucky, he could even obtain the incomparably coveted fake pill technique. He was afraid that Tianqiong and the others would be willing to spend a lot of money to trade with him. After all, I have too few secret treasures and supreme immortal skills. When the time comes, I plan to try my luck. Secret treasures? Supreme immortal skills? With Elder Dong Yang's talent in cultivating a divine-grade battle physique, once you return to the Purple Cloud Palace after the Fortune Fair, and head to the Pillar of Heaven's Mountain, the headquarters of the Purple Cloud Palace, there will be all kinds of secret treasures and supreme immortal skills. If you continue to perform well, won't you be able to get many resources at your disposal? Wang Ke said with a hint of flattery. Xing Hui only smiled when he heard this. It was true that he could receive good treatment at the Pillar of Heaven's Mountain. Any supreme sect would place great importance on cultivators with divine-grade battle physiques, but he could not wait for that day to come. While Xing Hui and Wang Ke were talking, the Great Sun Divine Palace's Palace Master Xingji had already finished his speech. In the end, he said in a clear voice, "Next, let's invite our Great Sun Divine Palace's supreme divine item, the Fortune Divine Jade, to be displayed to the various sects elders and sect masters." In the past 15 years, our Great Sun Divine Palace has been cautious and conscientious in guarding the Fortune Divine Jade, not daring to slack off in the slightest. Today, whichever sect wins first place will become the new custodian of the Fortune Divine Jade. Now please verify the authenticity of the Fortune Divine Jade. As Xingji spoke, the various first-rate sects did not move, but the 5 supreme sects sent 3 or 4 people forward at the same time. They surrounded the Great Sun Divine Palace's Palace Master Xingji, as if they were examining the Fortune Divine Jade. Xing Hui wanted to see the true appearance of the Fortune Divine Jade, but the Burning Sky sect was arranged to be at the back. In addition, there were people blocking him, so he could not see it clearly. He could only turn to Yan Xian and ask, "Didn't the Great Sun Divine Palace's Palace Master Xingji invite us to verify the authenticity of the Fortune Divine Jade? Why is my Burning Sky sect not moving?" This. Yan Xian's face showed a trace of embarrassment, not knowing how to answer. It was Wang Ke who said softly, "This is just the Great Sun Divine Palace's polite words. The only ones who are qualified to verify the authenticity of the Fortune Divine Jade are the 6 supreme sections. Not allowing people to see the true appearance of the Fortune Divine Jade is also to ensure the safety of the Fortune Divine Jade, in case someone wants to steal it." Hearing this, Xing Hui could only helplessly restrain his thoughts. However, he could understand the actions of the 6 supreme sacred sections. Ordinary people had never even seen the true Fortune Divine Jade before. Naturally, the probability of the Fortune Divine Jade being stolen and snatched away was reduced to the lowest. It was just that, putting on such a show in front of all the Fortune Mainland's cultivators, it really felt superfluous. That's right, it is indeed the true Fortune Divine Jade. My Purple Firmament Palace guarantees that it is not fake. The Grand Beginning sect confirms. The 3 Purities sect confirms. The 5 Supreme sects people circled around the Fortune Divine Jade and sized it up for a while. Then, they announced the authenticity of the Fortune Divine Jade in front of all the Fortune Mainland's cultivators. After the 5 Supreme sects people left and returned to their respective peaks, Xingji no longer spoke nonsense. The authenticity of the Fortune Divine Jade has been verified. Therefore, I hereby announce that the Fortune Mainland's grand meeting has officially begun. Now we will arrange the participants for the duels. The 2 participants whose tokens lit up will step onto the stage at the same time to determine the winner and loser. After Xingji finished speaking, he leaped up and returned to the Great Sun Divine Palace's mountain peak. Not long after Xingji returned to the Great Sun Divine Palace's mountain peak, a muscular man in the prominent sage realm flew up on his sword and hovered in the air above the stage. He said loudly, "I Langping would actually be the first participant. Wanhua Sect's Langping is here. I wonder which fellow Taoist would like to give me a pointer or two." Swish. Not long after Langping stepped onto the stage, a figure appeared in the void and stood on his sword. 5 Elements Manor Xueqi is here to experience fellow Taoists' immortal arts. At the same time, For transcendent realm experts appeared in the four corners of the void. One of them said to the two participants, "On the battle stage, life and death are up to fate. However, the heavens have the virtue of being merciful. Where there is room for error, there is room for mercy. We hope that you can show mercy. All right, if the two of you do not have any objections, I will announce the start of the competition." "Please. Haha, I can't wait to see all the fellow Taoist supreme immortal arts." "Then let the competition begin." Chapter 313. Lang Ping and Xueqi were both in the late stage of the prominent divine realm. Moreover, the two of them didn't seem to have placed their hopes on the divine might of the Saint Physique, and relied on the Saint Physique to determine victory. Instead, they went straight for the celestial techniques and secret treasures. As soon as the battle began, the first thing the two did was not to charge at each other and gain the upper hand. Instead, they both retreated and took out their own secret treasures. Lang Ping's secret treasure rolled up a black wind that covered the sky and the sun. Those who were hit by the black wind felt dizzy. Its power was somewhat similar to Wu Sui's soul-dispersing divine wind, but its effect was obviously weaker. Its interference ability was better than actual combat. On the other hand, Xueqi took out his Dharma treasure and made an icy rain fall within a few hundred meters. The icy rain was bone-chilling, and those who were hit by it were frozen to the bone. Lang Ping had no choice but to take out his true essence to defend himself. Xing Hui found it inconceivable to see such a fierce battle. After a while he said to Wang Ke, "Why don't Lang Ping and Xueqi take out their Saint Physique and fight with all their might? Why do they need to use their Dharma treasures and immortal techniques to fight? This kind of battle method might have a miraculous effect if they are caught off guard. But isn't it more enjoyable to fight using their battle physique?" Saint Physique? Wang Ke was slightly startled. If they directly take out their Saint Physique, what if they can't win this battle in a short time? Won't they be severely exhausted? How will they deal with the rest of the battle? Aren't there 50 rounds? After 50 rounds, it will take at least half a day. Even if they are exhausted, as long as they don't completely exhaust their true qi, they will be able to recover. Once they take out their Saint Physique, how much true qi will they have left after the battle? Wang Ke couldn't help but laugh. After hearing Wang Ke's words, Xing Hui remembered that he was overthinking. The reason why the prominent divine stage grand elders didn't use their Saint Physique so easily was that it was difficult to recover. Xing Hui had the rank 6 recovery ability. Once his true qi was completely exhausted, he would need 2 to 3 days to recover to his peak state. Even if he took out his Saint Physique and fought for 5 to 6 breaths, he would need half a day to recover completely, let alone those who weren't Sons of Chaos who had 0 recovery ability. In the field, the battle between the two continued. Lang Ping and Xueqi exchanged blows back and forth. Their immortal arts and magic treasures displayed their prowess, but in the end, Xueqi was still slightly superior. After being hit by the bone-piercing icy rain, Lang Ping's movements became more and more sluggish, and his body trembled incessantly. After this battle lasted for almost an hour, Lang Ping suddenly, he admitted defeat. Not bad. It wasn't a battle of life and death, but he admitted defeat. Looking at Lang Ping, who bowed to Xueqi and left the platform, Xing Hui turned to Lang Ping in shock. He didn't even try his best, and he admitted defeat just like that? Victory and defeat have been decided. Xueqi is one step ahead. Lang Ping is unwilling to let this go and embarrass himself, so he should admit defeat. Wang Ke looked as if it was only natural. He lost this battle. How will he face the Wanhua sect? Elder Dongyang, what do you mean? What does losing have to do with facing the Wanhua sect? Wang Ke was slightly taken aback. Then, as if he had thought of something, he hurriedly said, "Although he lost the battle, he can enter the losers group and continue to fight his way to victory. After all, although the losers group only has 3 spots, at least he won't have to face the 6 Supreme Sex-seeded contestants. Instead of wasting his vitality by losing to the 6 Supreme Sex-seeded contestants, he might as well conserve his strength and stand out in the losers group. His method is also a tactic to preserve his vitality. In the past, there were many sects with lower chances of winning the losers group that used this tactic. Xing Hui opened his mouth, but what else could he say? The atmosphere of the Fortune mainland was a little too harmonious. It was indeed worthy of being a peaceful world that had not experienced any war for 3,000 years. People with a strong desire to win like Ling, she were as rare as phoenix feathers and Qilin horns. The battles continued, and the prodigies that represented their respective sects and clans continued to fight on the arena one after another. If these prodigies believed that they were inferior to someone else, they would often admit defeat willingly. Even if their strength was similar, they actually never fought to the death. Qing Su had watched 18 battles along the way, and there were actually only 8 battles where both sides had used the power of the saint's body. Of course, there were also 4 battles where both sides went all out, and in the end both sides suffered heavy losses. But compared to the total 18 battles, this number was less than a quarter. If such a thing happened in the eastern wilderness, it was almost unimaginable. There would definitely be people who would secretly take action long ago. They would use all kinds of methods to harm their competitors and wear down their opponent's fighting spirit. They would use all kinds of sinister tricks. Compared to the Heaven Wasteland world, the people of the Fortune mainland were simply modest gentlemen. At this moment, Xing Hui even faintly understood why he could easily gain the trust of the Purple Firmament Palace and Burning Sky sect. His talent was one thing, and the contribution of the Great Sun Golden Crow technique was another. Most importantly, the general atmosphere of the Fortune mainland was like this. Everyone cared about their reputation, and the atmosphere of scheming was far from being comparable to the Heaven Wasteland world and Eastern Wasteland world. Buzz buzz. Just as Xing Hui did not know whether to praise or belittle the general atmosphere of the Fortune mainland, the token in his hand vibrated slightly. Not long after, a figure landed in the center of the stage. Qihuang Sex Miao Daozi. I wonder which fellow Taoist would like to exchange pointers with me? Xing Hui immediately stood up. Wang Ke hurriedly said, "This Miao Daozi is a person who specializes in entanglement. His immortal technique is called Spring Wind Rain, and it is most proficient in healing injuries and restoring true essence. Elder Dong Yang must not fall into a state of anxiety when fighting with him. It is best to end the battle quickly and secure victory." Xing Hui nodded. This was also his idea. Burning Sky Sex Dongyang, please. Xing Hui gestured to Miao Daozi in front of him with his hand. Since the two of you are ready, then I will announce the start of the battle. The Transcendent Realm expert in charge of the referee immediately appeared and announced. The moment this Transcendent Realm expert gave the order, Xing Hui's aura suddenly erupted. In an instant, a terrifying and vast blazing pressure swept through the void. The phantom of a divine beast suddenly appeared behind Xing Hui, stirring up boundless power. Almost everyone's expression changed drastically. Then, before Miao Daozi could react, and before the crowd could see clearly what kind of saint physique Xing Hui had manifested, Miao Daozi was sent flying while vomiting blood. Like a meteor, Miao Daozi crashed into the ground and fainted. Swoosh! His aura was restrained. The powerful pressure that filled the entire fighting ring with a radius of more than 10 kilometers was quickly restrained by Xing Hui's genuine qi. Xing Hui once again returned to his calm appearance when he stepped onto the platform. He slightly cupped his hands to the unconscious Miao Daozi and said, "Thank you for letting me win." After that, his figure flashed and he returned to the Burning Sky sect. Such a straightforward battle stunned the Transcendent Realm expert in charge of the referee. It took him a while to react and announced Xing Hui's victory. Following his announcement, there was an uproar in the crowd. What's going on? Just now, I seem to have felt a terrifying aura from Brother Dongyang of the Burning Sky sect. The aura was so strong that it made me tremble with fear. Humph! Before Brother Miao Daozi was ready, he suddenly attacked. It was like a sneak attack. He's really inhumane. Brother Dongyang's sudden sneak attack was indeed a bit overboard. But he did it after the referee announced the start of the match, so it's not against the rules. We have to be more careful when we face him in the future. Moreover, Brother Miao Daozi is good at entangling and delaying. Brother Dong Yang took advantage of Brother Miao Daozi's immortal technique to use all his strength to win the match. His method is not glorious, but his tactical thinking is undoubtedly correct. All kinds of discussions were constantly heard in the crowd. There were people who felt that Qing Su's battle tactics were impressive, while there were people who felt that Qing Su was lacking in manners, or that he was a despicable ambusher. As for the powerful aura that Qing Su had displayed when he manifested the Golden Crow battle form earlier, no one paid any more attention to it very soon. Although these people did not pay attention to it, the Transcendent Realm experts, and even the never-ending realm experts of the 6 supreme sects were looking at Xing Hui curiously. Interesting. It seems that the Burning Sky sect has produced an extraordinary talent this time. What Burning Sky sect? I think it's the Purple Cloud Palace. Dong Yang is most likely a genius disciple that the Purple Cloud Palace has been secretly cultivating. They just used the Burning Sky sect to push him out. Just wait and see. The Purple Cloud Palace will definitely take him in after the Fortune Creation Grand Banquet. The power of Dongyang's battle constitution isn't simple. Although he immediately withdrew his divine body, I'm afraid that it's not a divine-grade battle constitution, but a divine-grade Golden Crow battle constitution. An ancestral patriarch of the Taisher sect said as he looked at the Great Sun Divine Palace. The palace master of the Great Sun Divine Palace, Xing Ji, looked at Xing Hui and nodded slightly. Such a good seedling who has cultivated the Golden Crow divine body shouldn't be wasted in the Purple Cloud Palace. Brother Xiang Jun, why don't you give him to the Great Sun Divine Palace? Xiang Jun was a grand elder sent by the Purple Cloud Palace headquarters on the Sky Pillar Mountain. He was a peak never-ending realm expert. When he heard Xing Ji, the palace master of the Great Sun Divine Palace, he laughed and said, I don't know what the palace master is talking about. Dong Yang is a member of the Burning Sky sect. How can he be related to the Purple Cloud Palace? Apparently, he was trying to smooth things over. Xing Ji smiled and did not take it seriously. If he had cultivated such an excellent genius disciple, he would not have let others poach him so easily. What a pity. He was a good seedling who cultivated the Golden Crow bloodline. The battles continued. The first round took more than half a day to end. Half of the 100 sects were eliminated, leaving only 50. As the first round came to an end, the second round began. Moreover, in the third round, Qing Su's medallion had already begun to vibrate again. Clearly it was his turn. As he stood up, a figure whizzed over from the direction of the Purple Cloud Palace, like a stream of light. The aura of a true energy realm expert emanated from his body without reservation. I am Gauchen from the Purple Cloud Palace. Greetings, everyone. I wonder which of you would like to fight me? You're tuning in to the Li Mei's Wuxia Whispers YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.